Hello, beautiful peasants, and welcome in. It's going to be another great shift at the Tavern today. If you're new here, hey, my name is Mia, and I sculpt 3D printable tabletop minis for a living. Yeah, pretty cool. I've been doing this for 6 years, but in the last year or so, I focus on request. So that's my whole bread and butter. Everything that you see on the stream, on my past streams, it's someone's idea, someone's baby, their character, whatever, and then I bring it to life. So pretty darn cool. I stream Monday through Friday around noon Eastern time, sometimes at noon. That doesn't actually happen today. As late as 1, early as 11. But yeah, I think that's the gist of it. Hello to my lovely mod, Reaper, and Empress. Welcome in, welcome in. Cool thing I want to mention right now is that we have a little Artfest going on right now. If you want to join, just hop in our Discord, and then under M3DM Summer Artfest, it explains everything. Essentially, you get 3 new prompts every week. Pick one prompt, pick all the prompts, whatever you want, just do a combination. This week, the prompts are Forgotten, Masked, and Mechanized. So right here, we got some combine all 3 for a faded, forgotten mask with mechanized parts. Pretty cool. I made some Eldritch Horror thing yesterday. And then we had someone that made a stat block for a Lost Jester toy. So all forms and mediums of art are welcome. Be creative. Just make something. That's what it's all about. It's not about making the best thing or just making something. So I encourage you to, take the pressure off and make something fun. That's what we're all doing here. I know, Aloha says, Mia, look at the peasants are doing the art things for the Artfest. Aloha is our lovely Tavern Knight and mod, and they put all of this together. One of our peasants in the Discord, Dragon, it was their idea to have some sort of art festival, and then I got a limited amount of time, and so Aloha was fantastic and put all of this together. So I'm going to at least tell you guys about it every single day. I'm not sure how many weeks we're going to do this for, but for at least, it's summer, so expect this week and next week at least. It's going to be a fun thing. Alrighty. Today we're hanging out in the M3DM livestream hub with Little Rainbow. If you have memes, questions, references you want to share, that's where you're going to want to do so. Alright, this is just our warm-up here, kind of doors open. I have a lot of really cool projects that are in progress, so we're going to kind of just work on this little goatman ranger. The prompt for this was from Aubrey. Fantastic. I play D&D with them every weekend. They're hysterical. They've also been a patron of mine for a long time, and usually they have these really grand descriptive requests, and this one was just mountain climber, so I made a goatman. Maybe a little on the nose, but I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah. And the Reaper mentions today is a low battery day for them. Not going to be very chatty, but they'll keep an eye on things. Yeah, kick back. Relax. And the nerds here, welcome in, welcome in. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to get this guy ready for Character Creator 4. So there's a little bit of detailing that needs to be done first, and then getting this poly count nice and low so I can rig it without exploding my program. So that's what I'm doing today. And then for the main event today, it will be either a Hellhound or a Fairy Godmother. So whatever you want to see, vote for that. That's in the chat right now at the very top. I'm also not feeling as chatty today, but we'll see. Sometimes I kind of just warm up into it. Not a low energy day, just like a head empty day. I'm just vibing. So right now I'm taking these taverns and adding a little bit of detail to them. I'm going to add some trim. So to do that, I'm just going to do Inset, Polygroup Island. And there we go. Just going to add a border to these. And then I'm going to extrude just that line on the edge. Extrude Polyloop. Oh, it's kind of doing some funniness at the corner here, but that's okay because I'm actually going to tatter these anyway. Sweet. Let's add some fabric folds with my standard brush. Also, nerd, I still have not mailed you your stickers. I am very aware of that. We have not been going to town very much. My goodness, summer is so funny because it's pretty much we're either home working or we're outside doing yard work because we live in Tennessee and it is very lush here. It's just it's a freaking rainforest, which is great and I love that. but it also means that lots of yard work to be done, which I love doing it. So we do more than we probably need to. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm getting more and more into gardening recently. I had these beautiful pansies on our patio, and then I did such a good job taking care of them that I had birds that nested in both of them and destroyed them. So the babies have like fully grown, hatched, flown away. Hopefully they're doing fine. But now I'm left with these absolutely destroyed pansies, and I'm trying to like bring them back to life slowly. They're right by the front door. I thought that would deter the birds, but no, they're like, damn, this is nice. It was fun watching the little babies get bigger and louder, because I can also hear them from my bedroom, and they scream when they eat. I'm very happy they've moved out, as cute as they were. I'm like, when are you leaving? All right, this is detailed. I like it. Something simple. And then we're going to decimate it. First, we're going to go to Z plugin, Decimation Master, and make sure that I'm enabling poly paint. They're just brown, but I don't have to repaint it. So this will keep my poly paint even when I reduce the subdivision levels. Ray's here. Welcome in. Ray says, I got out of bed to vote for the Hound. I love it. And even if if the Hellhound doesn't win, though it looks like it's going to win by a landslide, these are requests on my Patreon, so I'm going to do all of them at some point. Speaking of, I'm almost done with the December request board, which means we're almost into this year, finally, of requests. And that means I have, oh goodness, 7 months of request boards 100%ed, which feels fantastic. Hey, Anti-Gravity is here. Hello! Thanks for joining my Patreon. I super appreciate it. And what program is this? This is ZBrush. It is very not free. It is it's expensive, is relative, but yeah. I think for iPad, it's $10 a month, or is it 20? That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. But it's subscription based now, and I think this is 40 a month. Though there is a free trial, I believe. Hello, it says Mia. Do you have a bull-like character you've done before to see the improvement? I think this guy has some really strong design. Aw, thank you, Aloha. Yeah, I have minotaurs and stuff if we want to have a little glow-up moment. I got a funny little minotaur. It's funny, this minotaur character, I'm going to show you guys. This is the one request I had, or it was a commission very, very early on as a baby artist. And this guy did not pay for it. Justin King, I still remember your name because it was $20 and I was so sad. I was just like a baby artist. I worked so hard on this. But I'm like, oh, I can do way better than this now. But anyway, there it is. This is kind of similar to the character that I'm doing right now. This is quite some time ago. It says uploaded in 2025. That's just because it got put on a super old SD. Obviously, I did not make this 2 months ago or last month. 2022 sounds about right. Even then, it was earlier than that. This was 2019 because we did this render style in 2022. Again, this is one of my first models I ever made. He's got normal feet for some reason. You can tell I was thinking about doing digitigrade legs, and I was like, no, I'm not sure how to do that. And meanwhile, here we are now. This guy has been a blast and took me 1/5 of the time. And I was paid for it. Thank you, patrons. Shady name drop. Yeah. And again, it's a funny story. I'm not concerned about it anymore. I do this as my full-time job. It supports, Ricky and I both do this, and we're doing great. To be clear, I did not need that $20 commission to be paid in full. Alrighty. So right now I'm getting this prepped for Character Creator 4, which pretty much just means getting all my subtools organized, because currently I have Satyr leg 1, 2, 2_2, 2_1. These are not labeled or organized nicely at all. So we're going to go ahead and fix that up. I can go ahead and merge these belts down together because I'm going to use these as props. So they're not going to bend with the character. I'm going to bind it to a bone. I find when you start bending belts to a character, it gets really lumpy looking. So I really just use Character Creator 4 to bend the body. And then I kind of just dress it up afterwards like a Barbie doll. Reaper said that's why it's a good strategy to get payment first. Very, very true. Again, he was one of those guys that was like recommended. It was like a friend of a friend kind of request. And I was like, oh, you're cool. And it was only $20. So I was like, oh, you're probably cool. It was awkward though for all parties involved. Generally speaking, with commissions, I didn't do payment upfront until I had much more expensive commissions. But now I don't do any commissions. I just make Patreon requests, and I love it. It's a good time. For some reason, when I renamed one of these belts Tavern, ZBrush was very offended and crashed, so we have reopened. There, Satyr. You have my legs? Many legs. Hey, Steamworks, welcome in. What's up, Sculpties? It's going really good. Steamworks, have you seen the art festival that we have going on right now? The first prompts were dropped yesterday. I would love to see you create something for it since you're also very talented. We have all of the mods in the chat today. Beware peasants. Obviously, just joking. You guys are always well behaved. Having 3 mods for a community like this is so overkill, but like I just had 3 people that were great for the job, so I was like, I'm gonna just pick all of you. Even though I have a very low maintenance community. Hello, it says Mia. If someone from the industry requested a model from you to be used as a game asset, what would you personally request from them? That's a hard question because I would say no. I would just straight up say no. If someone from industry requested a model from me to be used as a game asset, yeah, I'd be like, no. Like you can mess with it if you want and try things out, but what I create is not game asset ready at all. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that because it wasted my time. It's just not what I do, you know? Yeah. Right. Well, always well behaved. Us? Yeah, you guys are super well behaved. Reaper says, no. You need at least 5 mods. Oh, yes, no, we're good. Steamer says, I don't believe so. Where should I find the info and how much time do I have? Great question. I'll ping you. So right now it's hanging out under project references. It's M3DM Summer Artfest. I'll go ahead and ping you here. Ping. There you go. And you have a week. So every week we have 3 new prompts. You can pick one prompt or all of the prompts. This week it is Forgotten, Masked, and Mechanized. So we already had someone here draw a Forgotten mask with some gears in it. I made some Eldritch horror thing yesterday in ZBrush. We even had someone that made a stat block for a Lost Jester toy. So yeah, all mediums of art are super welcome. Just, make something, have fun. You got a whole week. And so that replaces with new prompts every Monday. You can pick as many or as few prompts as you'd like. So far, it seems like people are combining all 3, which is pretty cool. Just know that you don't have to. So yeah, until Sunday evening. Well said. A lot of regulars in the chat today. Love seeing all the familiar faces. We've had a lot of new people recently, which is great. But it's always fun when we have a stream that's kind of like, just like the OG Tavern peasants too. So I have some goals today of just like various projects I want to get, not 3D print ready, but getting them like the next step in my pipeline for being finished. Depending how much I get done this week, I might end the week with a pretty awesome backlog, which feels good to be ahead, All right, looking pretty good. Got these funny little hooves. Let's subdivide those a few times. Seamwork says, sweet, I think I can make something happen. Awesome. Even if like you just grab like a napkin and scribble down something with a pen, go nuts. All very welcome. Hey, Monkey's here. Greetings, greetings. We're having a good time in here. Just warming up. I'm getting this guy all ready for character creator. And then after that, it is on to Tavern Keeper's Craft. Looks like we'll be sculpting a Hellhound today, but as that poll stays up in the chat, it's getting closer and closer to 50-50. We'll see. Hey, Taka's here. Taka has joined my mentorship program, which is very exciting. So, yay to them. I got another student and more work to review. Very excited. Aloha says, Taka, do you have anything cooking for the Artfest? If I have anything to say about it, I will. Also, Empress, I don't know if you're lurking right now, but you have been a little quieter after your amazing tree stump submission. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Let me know. We can guide and support. Call this leg 1. And we'll call this other leg. As long as it's not the same subtool name, you're fine. Reaper says, I want a Hellhound. It will happen regardless. It just depends in what order. Right, says the heat is making me want to sleep, and by sleep I said seep. I get you. I always I have the best naps in summer. Mikey says, do you start with a base mesh from Character Creator 4 or ZBrush and import? Oh no, my base meshes come from ZBrush. I sculpt those. Though I know Character Creator has tons of cool base meshes and stuff. I don't personally use them. We'll call this left fluff, even though it's technically on his right arm. And right fluff. (26 degrees Celsius). Do not know how hot that is. Is that like 80-ish Fahrenheit? That sounds hot, I think. Oh, and you're on the 3rd floor. Yeah, rip. Yeah, when I lived in the dorms, I was always on the highest floor. Kind of annoying. Oh, sweet. Taco just took their last exam and got an A. Nice. Congrats. Monkey mentions, mainly because the layout is all wonky when I go from ZBrush to Character Creator 4. Oh, okay. So you'd like to see how I import into Character Creator 4. Yeah. That sounds like a scaling issue. You should be able to just reset your scene scale. Alliteration. Hey, RV Gaming is here. It's been a little bit. I hope you've been well. We've been having a merry old time over here. All right, so this edge is a little rough here. When you have like these single-sided polys like this that kind of poke out, it can upset Character Creator. So I just went ahead and smooth those down. Monkey says, I have no idea what that is, Mia. English! Oh, the scene scale? If you go to Z plugin And then, where is it? Scale Master. You can tell ZBrush how big your scale is in like the scene. You should have a plugin from Character Creator that's like, you know, like the subtool menus of like all the Character Creator tools. Like, yeah, it sets your scene. It tells ZBrush how big it's supposed to be and vice versa. Again, I don't know if that's a solution, but I don't know. Scale is English. I don't know how to more English that. Units, numbers, size, synonym. RV says, I'm doing good. I was on vacation, just returned home. So I'll probably hang out from tomorrow. Oh, awesome. Good to have you back. I hope your vacation was very restful and fun. All right, let's go ahead and remesh this a bit too. Looking good. We'll call this back hair because that's really what it is. And we're almost done. Looks like I have everything pretty much named in here. Oh yeah, the shark tooth necklace I didn't end up keeping. I wonder if that's like a nice detail I want to add. Nah, that just kind of cluttered. It makes him look a little more tribal. And he's really not supposed to be monstery looking. It's supposed to be a good lad. All right, and they have lots of cool backpacks and stuff as well. So again, what I'm doing right now is just making sure everything is nice and remeshed and not too high poly. It's okay if you have lots of polys going in Character Creator 4. Just want to make sure that your lowest subdivision level isn't too high. It's like, what does that mean? You pretty much can toggle like low res and high res for each of the pieces of your model. So you just want to make sure the low res is low res enough. Okay, that like destroyed all my details. Sad. Let's remesh my union first. I'm loving this intense weather discussion. I don't even know what the weather is today. It's supposed to have rained like every day for the last 20 days here, and we keep getting just whiffed and not getting like any rain. It's been quite odd. Last year by this time we already had like several gnarly thunderstorms. Not so much this year. It's been quite tame. Hey, Jack is here. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back, Jack. All right, I think this is just about done. I'm going to go ahead and hide the base. There's those cross straps in the back. He has so much back hair that you don't actually see these straps at all. I'm just going to go ahead and delete them so I don't have to deal with it. Yep, and the straps will just disappear into all of this fluff. I can fine tune that more when he is posed. There you go. It just disappears into the fluff. All right, excellent. So to test to make sure this is low poly enough, I'm going to go to all low, which here, this is what I was talking about earlier. See how he's all like pixelated? That's what I'm talking about by subdivision levels. That's it. It sounds very fancy, but it's just high res, low res. That's it. So I'm making sure that my low res, when all of this is merged together, is 300,000 points or less. So I'm going to click on Merge Visible, and that will throw it up into this new tool here so I can check it. This is at 272,000 points, right on the money, under 300,000, close, but under it. So we're good. Amazing. Let me double check this torso here. Sometimes these rougher edges can upset Character Creator. Perfect. And you don't have to use a third-party software to pose. You can absolutely pose in ZBrush. I like to use Transpose Master to do that. So whenever I have like creatures like dragons, manicore, whatever, like the cherry blossom dragon that I did recently, like this guy, I'm not going to rig this. This loopy worm, I did this by hand in ZBrush. It just depends on what you're posing. Sweet, this is all ready. Let me go ahead and save this. I'm naming this my Goat Folk Ranger. It's my first Goat Folk. someone new here. Benet Nash, I'll call you Nash. Is your Discord public? It sure is. We are super art-friendly, all tabletop 3D printing goodness. If any of that interests you, you're more than welcome to join. I mean, no, it's super exclusive, peasants only. But since you're here, you're now officially a peasant, so congrats. All right, what else is going on in the chat here? Right, you're being hysterical today. My goodness. Oh, and then a reminder, anyone that's lurking, you're welcome to join our Discord 100%. I really encourage you to join the Summer Artfest. So every week, we got 3 new prompts. You can pick one prompt, pick all the prompts, and just make something. Someone drew, I did a 3D model, someone made a stat block for a toy. You can knit, you can write some music. It's just about making something and getting in the habit of being creative. Yeah. It's a good time. All right, let me go ahead and save this character and get this uploaded into my Google Drive so I can move that to my other computer to pose later. That is one silly thing. Character Creator only runs on Windows, and I have a MacBook. So we actually move it to a different computer using Google Drive to pose it. It sounds clunkier than it is, but it's not ideal. I'm very excited that Marvel's Designer does run on Mac, and I am slowly learning that in the background, in between streams. I need to finish my freaking website first. Oh my goodness. The website's taking forever because I've sculpted 1,000 models. So I need to upload those individually and tag them to make my sorting system work. It's going to be so slick when it's done. Monkey says, where do we put our submissions to the prompt thingy, mabobber? Great question. M3DM Summer Artfest. Just make sure that you ping Aloha. You got it. Ray says, guys, send us some rain, please. Don't you get tons of rain over there? UK area, Europe, that continent, Asia. All right, sweet. Well, that's the end of Doors Open. So let's go ahead and get rolling with our Tavern Keeper's Craft. So if you're new here, hey, my name is Mia. I sculpt 3D printable tabletop characters for a living. And where do I get these ideas? Everything I sculpt here is a request on Patreon. So if you want to make a request, join Patreon. You also get access to all my other models, which again, there's 1,000 of them. Literally. Like the prompt for this one was a mountain climber. That was it. They didn't provide pictures. They didn't provide a class, race, nothing. So I made a goatman. I had a great time with it. So today's request, one of them is a Hellhound and the other is a fairy godmother. The Hellhound has won. So let's talk about it. Sweet. It is officially the Tavern Keeper's Craft. Since we're going to be sculpting a Hellhound, this is probably going to be from scratch. I'll grab a dog ZPR. Why not? This is already just default in ZBrush. All right, and now I'll give you guys more details on the request. So one of the reasons why I have Discord up right here is because you guys can help participate in creating by sharing references, ideas, whatever. It's a good time. So here is that Hellhound request. This is from Katie McRae. Thank you so much for supporting my Patreon. You always have fantastic ideas. Katie said, I had trouble thinking of an idea this month. I thought I might pass, but I just had something come to me. I'd love to squeeze this request in. I have a barbarian/druid character campaigning through Avernus. Thing is, he has a mastiff pup right before and no one to leave with it. Needless to say, he's been a little mama bear over this dog. Hell is taking a weird twist on the pup as it's growing though, so can you make me a beloved mastiff/hound of hell? Very cool. So she refers to it as a mastiff pup, but also a hound of hell. So I don't think it's supposed to be like a puppy necessarily. Oh, no. Hell is taking a weird twist on the pup as it's growing. Okay. All right. So we're going to make a puppy. This might be a cutie. Okay. Ricky's here. Aren't you getting your hair cut? That's my husband. You're not home right now. That's great. Love it. Also, I missed this satyr. This is out of context. Satyr says, mumbling through mouth with a piece of straw hanging from my lips. Yep, yes, your girl with the corn. What? All right, well, I'm going to show you guys a couple pieces of art that I have done in the past to give you kind of an idea of how I can approach this. So I have a Baby Beast series. Let's see, Baby Cerberus. Again, these are some older models. I have a Baby Cerberus corgi. So here's like this cuter style that I can do. And that's probably the style we're going to approach here today. But I've also done stuff like, do I just have a normal dog? Yeah, I recently did a dog adventurer that's much more realistic looking. So this guy is a little cutie patootie. So I guess we're going to make a little baby hellhound. It's going to be more on the chibi side. Yeah. Oh, hey, Eric's back. Just a little guy. It's been a bit. Welcome back. All right, we're making just a little guy. It's going to be a hellhound. It's going to be a cutie, not full-grown doggo. Okay, this is very important. Peasants, I need pictures, there we go, of Mastiff puppies. That is not a Mastiff, but it's very, very cute. My aunt Michelle she doesn't have any right now, but for the longest time she had Mastiffs. 3 of them. One of them was named Pickles. These are Mastiffs. They're around 200 pounds and they're awesome. They're just cutie patooties. All right, so I need Mastiff puppy pictures in the chat, like for art, for business, guys. Oh my goodness. Wrinkly boy. Cute. All right, that's actually a really good reference for me because I can see the two side by side. Perfect. And then we'll also look at a hellhound. And we're going to combine the two here. Bunny said, God, I thought I knew dog breeds. I just Googled the 2 things I thought it was, and it was neither of them. Alo says, aw, no unknown demonic horror, grimdark fantasy. Blech. Technically a hellhound, so it's going to be a little demonic. Here we go. Here are some hellhound ideas. I'm going to just screenshot the whole thing. I do this very often where when I gather references, I just Google images it, and then I look at it and see where the similarities are. Thank you, Ray. Look at my peasants putting in work. I love to see it. Oh yeah, Eric said my favorite is the kitsune. Is it kitsune or kitsune? I don't word with flowers. And I'm going to show this because it's been mentioned. Oh, there's a painted version of it. I forget that I used to do that. Where is a non-painted version? There it is. Really cute. So we're going for more of this style here. It claimed to be this. Well, a Tibetan Mastiff is different than just normal Mastiff. Whoever is spamming hearts, I love it. I just, out of the corner of my eye, I just see like a funnel of hearts in the chat. The best kind of spam. Though, yeah, Tibetan Mastiff does seem the most likely in this specific case. Yeah, I'm probably going to make it defloofed to start. A Cane Corso is an Italian Mastiff. Yeah, that checks out. Looks like we have a lot of options here. All right, because I know you hooligans love to see it, I'm going to sculpt from scratch. And it's going to be pretty much just as much work to sculpt from scratch or not. So I'll just sculpt from scratch. I give you guys a hard time because I think you guys are just overly impressed with sculpting from scratch. All right, we're going to go with a warm color here, a bit more on the reddish side. And we're going to start sculpting this cutie patootie. Oh my God, King Corsos are cute. Look at these giant paws. Sweet. I'm going to go ahead and put my references in here. Again, you're welcome to participate or continue just hanging out, lurk, and enjoy the art. I love to see it. It is kitsune. Okay. That is more sing-songy and more fun to say. All right. And then Seymour says, you said any medium for the weekly, right? Yes. So they're asking about our summer art fest, and absolutely any medium of art. If you want to knit, if you want to yodel, whatever you want. Most of us do 3D art here, but you don't have to. Very cool. All right. It's happening. There's no kit bashing for this. It's just sculpting from scratch, and we're gonna go with a cuter, chibier style. So let's go. All right, I'm starting with a sphere right now. We're gonna punch in 2 holes. I'm using the move brush for that. And then we're gonna start forming this little snoot. Again, all of this is done with the move brush. If you blink, there's a lot of changes happen all at once. I'm not sure how much of a snoot to give these. More than my pug, that's for sure. So whenever you're making stuff cute and baby, if you draw like a triangle between like your eyes to your nose, so like there's a little box here, triangle, okay? The longer the box is, the older things look. So if you make it like really, really small, the cuter it's gonna look. So you wanna like cram this nose way up here. That's gonna be much cuter. Also, putting the face lower, so like the eyeballs and the nose, giving them like a big forehead, also makes things look cuter and more baby. And then just gigantic head. We're gonna have a big head for this thing. So again, I'm using the move brush to start getting these forms into place. As low poly as possible. Less polys, less problems. And you're like, wow, that looks so pixelated. Yes, and it's beautiful. And then we'll add eyeballs and stuff later, but I'm not gonna worry about that until I have to. We're probably gonna give it little eyebrows, and then what's tricky about mastiffs is they're really wrinkly, but by default, when you make babies look wrinkly, they look horrifying, so it's gonna be a process. All right, that's about the head shape that I want. Let's go ahead and add some ears. To do that, I'm just gonna duplicate the head, the entire head, and I'm gonna Dynamesh it. I'm gonna Dynamesh it at a really low res, and then use my 3D gizmo to smoosh it. So are we gonna go with floppy ears or pointed ears? I feel like with the Hellhound, to be more Cane Corso-esque, and I mean, those aren't, they're not natural, but you know. Hey, Bunny's here. Hello, hello. Big eyes, small nose. Yes, it's called neoteny. Oh, like, okay, so neo, like neonatal. Okay, interesting. Oh, Wolf's here. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's what the Mabari Warhounds are based off from Dragon Age Origins. Yep. Yep. I always named mine Noodle. Satyr, you've been referencing Dragon Age a lot recently. It's good. I like it. We're gonna go with floppy ears. We're gonna start getting the rough shape here. If I want to make them pointy later, I can. All right, we have some ears. Big eyes. And I know, they're just craters right now. Don't worry. Crater eyes. Cute. Let's go ahead and create a body for this little cutie. Again, I'm just duplicating the entire head and then Dynameshing it really low. You can just append a sphere. I just find this is really easy too. All right, so you're making, that's my dog snoring extremely loudly in the background. In case you guys are like, what is that? It's my dog. There's a dog under that blanket. Yeah, okay. All right, so when you're making chibi or cute proportions, you want to have, it's like a 1:1 or 1:2 essentially. Like you don't want it to be, you want the head to be gigantic. So when I say 1:1, 1:2, that's what I mean. So the head is gonna be most of the model. Notice like here, if you were to draw like a circle here on the head, from front to back, this is like what? 1, 2, 3, 4 heads long. Meanwhile, the puppy, it's only like 2 or 3. And we're gonna especially make it extra cute. So we'll go ahead and create this. We'll have 2 spheres. So we'll have like a little booty, and then I'll use this to make the chest and the belly. I like having lots of different subtools because it just makes my life easier to kind of control where things are at. These are St. Bernards, but very cute and very similar shaped. Paint says, I know, but they're my favorite. I like it. Oh, Monkey has a submission for the Summer Art Fest. I want to see. Oh, check it out. They've made a map. Awesome. Probably for Forgotten. Yes, the Forgotten Fungal Forest. Very cool. That is awesome. Sweet. Thanks for starting at the Summer Art Fest. That got me to break the rust off and make a map for the first time in a couple of months. Oh, how cool. I love it. That's beautiful. Doesn't surprise me. You make great stuff. If you guys want to treat yourselves, I highly recommend Googling Meditating Monkey. They have lots of awesome D&D stuff for purchase. Wait, do you pronounce it Bernard? Yes. I'm American, so yes, we have a harsh pronunciation for a lot of things. Bunny, I have not seen that. Red Rough Danger Dogs. I have not. It sounds adorable though. All right, I'm now going to use my curved tube brush to create the legs. That's a little noodly, so we're going to go ahead and make that a bit larger. Making cute things is very difficult and very fragile, so if you're like, oh, she's making a cute little thing, I want to make a cute little thing, don't be frustrated. It's so easy to make it ugly and awful. So just like, it's okay. All right, I'm going to duplicate this. Hey, Cerberus from Hades. Yep. I have not beat that game, but I have gotten to the end, no spoilers, once, and I was like, damn, I didn't make it. I absolutely panicked. What kind of tails do these have? Again, it's a Hellhound, so I want to incorporate some elements that are fiery. There's a tail. Let's go ahead and Dynamesh. He's got this weird little hunchback right now. Again, this is what we call the blockout phase. Don't judge your art before when it's not done. Otherwise you won't have any fun. You'll just get really good at criticizing your work. He's a cutie patootie already though. Cute. And then I am going to give him paws. He's not just going to be like little stubs. All right, that means I'm primitive to do that. And let's just append a sphere and kind of create like little simplified paws. I'm going to Dynamesh this. Create some, again, they have giant feet. So I want to create these little nubs without looking terrifying. There we go, just shaping one of them. Kind of see where that gets me, and I'll zero mesh by half, make sure it's smooth. Sater says, Mia, what did you think is the end isn't the end, unless you did get past? No, again, yes, you get all the way to the end, and there's a certain very obvious boss that you fight, but you have to do it multiple times and win, and I did not. I just freaked out. I got all the way to the end, and I was like, no, I defeated him once. I mean, Vig, once. And then I was like, I have to do that again? God. So, yeah. All right, and then I think there are, how many little, I guess there's 4, but if it looks too cluttered, I'll go with 3. Just making these cute little paws. I can use Move Topological to sort these a bit. Cute. That is my dog demonically snoring in the background. Don't worry about it. He's having a great day. And then I think we're gonna go with the Tibetan variation, so we will make him fluffy. Just starting to figure out those shapes. The back feet are gonna be a little bit different, but not too much, because we're going with a pretty simplified shape here. Gonna make the back feet a little bit bigger. This looks so funny. Oh, this is cute. Again, so we got all of our primary shapes in here. You know, he has 4 legs. How good they look is up for debate. But you want to just keep working on your base shapes here until you have something that you're really proud of. I'm starting to venture into the secondary shapes a little early here just because it's going to affect the silhouette so much. And I haven't incorporated any of the Hellhound aspects here quite yet. That'll probably come in as like tertiary details, like little bits of fire, maybe it's like some cracks and some lava, that kind of thing. Just normal puppy stuff. Don't forget the beans. We'll see. Very cute, but if all of his feet are gonna end up on the floor, yeah. Oh my god, Eric said this dog better have cute toe beans or else I'm throwing a fit. Okay, his whole toe is toe bean shaped. Elara says Mia getting exposed in the summer Artfest. What happened? Forgotten. Oh, this is cool. There's no way you made this for the Summer Art Fest. You just had something, I think. But it looks very cool. Unless you work very fast. Oh my god. Ricky's buried kneecap excavated from a lake. Mia threw it in there. It is very cool and does fit the prompt very well. Nice. All right, we have a cute little puppy shape here. Not very wrinkly. We're gonna go more on the fluffy approach instead, which is gonna make my life a lot easier because making a wrinkly baby is very difficult to make look cute. Because it's like old wrinkles versus like baby wrinkles. They're very sensitive. All right, I need more references of these fluffy boys. This, but baby. I mean, that is baby. That's very baby. Cute. Which means we get to have a big fluffy tail. Good. I thought this little noodle looked kind of sad. To add some fluff here, I'm just using the move brush and holding down Option. And again, super low poly. We're just finding our shapes. No need to complicate things when we barely know what's going on still. More fluff. So much fluff. It's gonna be time to work on the face somewhat soon. I can start getting these colors in though. We're gonna go with a warm kind of reddish brown, especially because it's going to be a Hellhound. I keep forgetting that I have like fantasy elements to incorporate here. How do I get that? How do I get that brown? Seems like it's kind of a tricky color to grab. Interesting. Let's go with the dark color first. I think that'll make my life a little easier. But I don't want to go too dark because it's really hard to contrast. So we'll go with this dark color first. Oh, heck yeah. Rock Ruff, right? That is a fantastic reference, especially for what we're doing here. Good one, bunny. All right, I've colored the whole thing chocolatey and very dark. Let's start getting some of these lighter colors in here. We'll go with a lighter toe bean color. I'm making it a little on the desaturated side. There we go. And I'll use my paintbrush with drag rectangle to kind of block in some of these shapes here. And these little eyebrows I think are the cutest thing, so I'm gonna incorporate those too. Don't worry, he will have eyes. He won't just be like a bottomless pit forever. I'm getting to it. It already looks so much cuter. Check him out. Just a little guy. I think it's time to add a base as well. Again, these are all 3D printable and be released on my Patreon. All right, not base, base. Yeah, we'll go with the flowery grass one. It's nice and simple. That's gonna complement this character. Oh no, it's supposed to be in hell. Just kidding. You're not supposed to be cute like this. You're supposed to be in hell. In that case, never mind. Desert rock, please. Do I really think it's deserty? There's a desert cactus one. ZBrush says that it exists, but I don't see it. Usually when you click on Unify, there we go, it puts it in the middle of your scene, so I was like, I don't see it. There we go. Do they have cactus in hell? All right. We need to make a new base. That's what this means. Ooh, lava rock. Cool. Okay. Funny says, my legendary junior quest is going to be a monster dog, but like a specific monster dog who is also a baron. Interesting. All right, we are going to, there's the texture I wanted. So I'm going to chop up this base here to be repurposed because I want the texture to be separate from this smooth edge. I can poly paint it however I want, but for now we'll just do a nice simple paint scheme. Go with more of like a bluish rock tone and it'll contrast this character really nicely. I like using backface mask to kind of get this ambient occlusion like effect done for me to warm this up just a touch. All right, I feel like we don't have a whole lot of contrast on this model. Yeah, there we go. Reset my lighting. That looks better. Sweet. Wow, this is already really cute. Off to a good start. Love to see it. Ray says, Mia, go look at the fluffy puppies. Stop working. Say less. Ah, that's not cute at all. Abyssal chicken. No. There we go. This is important. This is what I wanted. Ray says, I don't know what this is either, but it is cute. And very freshly groomed. My goodness, look how like perfectly fluffed out. Darling. All right, we're gonna straighten up the front legs a little bit because he kind of looks like he's like sitting back almost, and that's not really what I'm going for. So we're gonna merge down the legs to the back feet and scoot them back. Do you guys have any pose ideas? Because I'm not gonna rig this in Character Creator 4. I'm definitely gonna pose this in ZBrush, which means this whole model will be finished today, probably in the next 45 minutes. Derek says my partner loves Rock Ruff because it looks like her old Aussie Shepherd. Aw, I love that. Well, sweet. This guy is just a cutie patootie already. The bit of poly paint helped a lot. Alright, I think it's time to add some eyeballs. It's looking a bit jarring. Alright, so to add eyeballs, we're simply using the IMM permanent brush and just click and drag. There you go. Split mask point, so it's its own subtool. It's a little easier to control. And then you just kind of use a gizmo to put these eyeballs into place. Still a little terrifying. We're not done. So normally I create little like eyelids. I don't want to get too detailed with this because it's just a baby. It's going to be a tricky thing to balance just right. You know, before I do this, I might bring... I'm thinking of like bringing this into Transpose Master so I can affect all the subtools at once quickly. I don't think I have to do it that way though. Again, having the eyes lower on the face will make it look cuter. Again, notice like the forehead ratio here. Lots of forehead on babies. Okay. Just moving these eyes down. Looks really disturbing. Again, you want to like take your proportions and break it and then reel it back a little bit. That's how you get really successful design. I think I want it to be like maybe a little mad looking. That looks so disturbing. I might have had it right beforehand, but I want to at least try it out. All right, going with very simplified shapes. There's pretty much like, I like the side view quite a lot. That's really cute. And then as far as how the ears sit on the head, that's probably me more up to how I end up posing it. Angry puppy, isn't it cute? This is just, you know, part of that creative process. Just keep trying things out till you find something that you like. I really like the side view of it. The front needs some help. I mean, he doesn't have eyeballs. That's definitely part of the problem. Part of the process. Thank you. No problems here. Just process. And then I look at references like this, and I kind of see like how the ears, like how big they are in proportion to the rest of the head. It's a lot of that. These are great references from that Ray provided. All right, so they sit up here, kind of at an angle. They're actually a lot more forward facing than I expected, and they fall just past the eye. Again, I'm not quite creating that puppy, but I'm definitely using it as a reference. Yeah, they're a lot more forward facing than I thought. Interesting, okay. Oh, that's immediately cuter. Awesome. They have a big taper. Oh, adorable. Again, a lot of art and why it's so important to have lots of references is kind of like a big game to spot the difference. Cute. There we go. And he will be a little angry. I'm going to subdivide this once, though I think the polys might be a little too stretched out on this snoot. So before I subdivide, I'm actually going to Z-remesh. No, I can actually Dynamesh. Never mind. There we go. See, before, like the polys here are larger and they look a little more like stretched versus up here they're a bit more dense. So if I were to subdivide from that, it just gives me, it's just harder to work with because they're not even. So I'll Dynamesh so it's nice and even. and then this will be a little easier to sculpt on. Oh my gosh, I can make so many funny little faces here. I'm gonna make him very not impressed. I'm also going to make the nose a separate piece because I find like when you just try to limit it to that one mesh, it can be kind of hard to work with. So I'm gonna give him a literal button nose to start with. Dynamesh. And then start creating this little nose shape. And they got like 2 big circles there. Looks something kind of like that. I'm just using the move brush to do all this. Foxy says, the puppy be less angry if they had eyes. Observant. This is true. I mean, maybe I'll just lean into the no eyeballs at all. That's pretty Hellhound-esque. All right, let's put this little nose on here. Raise your hand in the chat if it's driving you crazy that I am not giving this thing eyes. It's like I'll do everything except give this little dude eyeballs. All right. And then little mouth is forming. And then I think I will add some wrinkles on top of the nose. That seems to be a big part of this. And this does sit a lot farther in. Okay. Oh, tricky, tricky. Okay. I got this. Again, cute things, pretty things, faces, very sensitive. You shouldn't spend as much time too much time just literally sculpting and scribbling. Like every time I put my pen down, I have something very intentional in my head that I'm trying to achieve. It sounds simple, but it'll prevent you from reworking the same model back and forth over and over again. And then I'm also making it stylized, so there's also that to contend with. Little wrinkly nose. Little funny looking nose. Aloha says, if he was a hellhound, he could be part skeleton, so he can throw his own bones to chase. That's pretty macabre. I like it. Yeah, Aloha's like, this isn't grimdark enough. Here's something kind of awful, but still cute. I do like your idea though, even if it is a bit disturbing. All right, what is the ratio of like how much top nose versus this little whole thing? I mean nostrils, whole thing. Because I'm trying to simplify this shape. I know how to just sculpt it literally. I think we're gonna just simplify it. Hey, Tarvin's here. Hello, hello. Welcome back. We're making a little hellhound puppy today. All from scratch. I mean, technically nothing is from nothing. It's from a sphere. This is a bit lower on the snoot, and then he's got this funny little wrinkle on top of his nose. We'll just go with like a little... Well, like a diamond shape is more like a cat. This really is more like a little rectangle. There we go. Okay, I need to leave this nose alone. It's obvious I don't know what shape I want it to be, so we'll come back to it later. All right, now it's got these really funny, droopy mouth. It is important that, because when you're stylizing something, you want it to still be rooted in reality, right? That is so, so cute. I love this. Look at this puffy Akita. Cute. Eric, it says, me staring at the rice cooker that isn't done yet. That sounds good. I am hungry. Okay. So here's like a stylized, cute cartoon. They put the nose really tall like I did to kind of create that effect. Even though on, the actual dog... Ooh, I like the skull hat. Anyway. Also reminds me of the wyvern you're working on, Ray. But on the actual dog, it's a lot more crushed. It's not so tall. But we're going for more like a stylized look here. So having like this droopy lip might be really cute. And then Torben has a great question here that I have a very strong opinion on. Torben says, I just saw there's a humble bundle with a lot of ZBrush tool in brushes. Is it worth getting my plan to learn ZBrush later this year? But of course, still only for 6 more days. Absolutely not. Do not buy brushes. Do not buy anything for a software that you haven't even used yet. It's crazy. It's so normal to look at stuff and be like, oh, there's like this beginner package I can buy and jumpstart. There's no amount of buying tools that's going to make you better at using that tool. There's just not. Use the tool. Use the tool. Stop buying stuff for the tool. It's like instead of wanting, like you want to be an artist, so you buy tons and tons of sketchbooks, but you never actually draw in your sketchbooks. You just have lots of fancy sketchbooks. Guilty. I'm talking about myself. So yes, that's why I feel very strongly about that. Paint says, Mia, if he was part zombie, you could play catch with its eyeball or make it one eyeball similar to the Fates from Hercules. Horrifying. Very nice. That's a great question, Torben. Seriously, I see a lot of students do that. A lot of students that come to my mentorship program, even, they're like, okay, cool. Now that at least I can like guide them and tell them what to do. But they'll usually come to me with like this huge asset library of things that they've purchased. And I'm like, you don't even know how to open your software yet. Like, why are you buying stuff for it? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, I don't know how to use it now, but I will in the future. And I'm like, stop. It scratches a part in your brain when you buy stuff that you think you're preparing and learning, but like you're not. You know, like you gotta just use the software. There's just no workaround to it. Now, let's say you've used the software for a long time and maybe you want to like treat yourself and like get a fancy tutorial or custom brush or something. Even then, make them yourself. Truly, it is the way. Oh my gosh, this is the funniest little face. Okay, we're gonna give him eyeballs finally. I don't know why it took so long, but we're here. Torben says, yeah, I saw it was 31 euros for like 51 packs. Yeah, and it's not worth anything to you if you don't know how to use it. Or even if you did, like, stop buying tutorials. Stop buying brushes. Just make art. Bunny says, I was thinking about the Pokemon Duskull, which is like the little skull lantern whose pupil is a single red orb floating in the middle of it. Yeah, and it goes back and forth. Yeah. Sater said, all the quality sketchbook and artist pencils in the world are not going to help if you're not literally putting pencil to paper. Guilty. Yeah, there's a reason why Sater and I feel strongly about this. It's like I'm in this picture and I don't like it. Hey, Lux is here. Welcome back. Aw, a doggo. Yes, it is soon to be a Hellhound. As of now, it's just cute as heck. More fluff. Firm says, okay, that makes sense. I get it. Good. I'm glad it makes sense. And again, like, it's your money. Spend it on whatever you want. Just know that it's not helping your art journey at all. How's that for some anti-consumerism? No, this is where I come in and I'm like, you shouldn't buy that, but you know what you should buy? Inserts my own products. That's the real power move. All right, we have eyeballs finally. It took a long time and it looks so derpy. I love it. All right, we are going to create eyelids because I think it really needs them to do that. I'm going to duplicate the sphere that I have and then use mask pen. I'm just going to like mask just the middle of it. Command W will create 2 separate polygroups. Wow, it's the exact same color. Here you go. See, 2 different polygroups. And then I can mask one and then split it into its own object. I'm going to remesh these, make them nice and simple. Nope, that's ugly. Z-remesh by half and it'll make this nice and low poly. Stop testing me, ZBrush. No. There you go. That's nice. All right, here is the lower eyelid. I need to move it a little bit because obviously it's the same size. Oh, this looks so silly. I love it. Again, when you start, it's one of my favorite parts of creating is when I get to make the eyelids because they're so expressive. You can do so much with them. All right, we're now making the top eyelid. Oh, he looks so unimpressed. I'm gonna close holes and then ZBrush by half. Micah's here. Hello, hello. Welcome back. That's gonna be one cute hellhound. Aw, thank you, Lux. You should give it big, fluffy old man eyebrows. I love that idea. Oh man, Bunny's a little under the weather right now. Currently in the full body muscular aches and fatigue stage of a head cold. Woof. Drink some like hot tea, something that'll kind of clear you out, and then sleep. But thanks for jumping in and, you know, sharing some great. He's currently unimpressed that you don't feel well. Very unimpressed. There, mad at you. Feel better. Oh my gosh, this little dude is hysterical. I don't know, I waited so long to give him eyeballs. He would have looked so much cuter, so much faster. I don't know. Again, I create a lot of art, so I'm very comfortable with the ugly stage. All right, we're gonna start shaping the eyeball. There we go. And I can shape like the eye socket around it too. Again, all of this is going to be really fragile. So if you are in this stage of your model, you know, and you're anything to do with a face, don't be afraid to like undo a lot of progress instead of just like always working forward, because you might end up making something that's really like overworked and kind of lumpy looking. Does that make sense? Like this is odd looking. I kind of liked this when it looked unimpressed. So if I keep working on this and I don't like the direction that's going, I'll just use my undo history, which is this bar up here, and just go back to where I started. Just never feel pressured to like get your sculpt correct on the first try. Just keep working. Keep trying stuff. Reaper says the nose is too small. Don't test me, girl. My mods like to mess with me. They know I hate that. You're too small. Okay. Lux says, at least save the cute version too before you make it a Hellhound. Who says Hellhounds aren't cute? Though honestly, you bring up a great point that I didn't even occur to me. Before I like lavify it, you're right. I should make a second version. That's really smart. Because that's not any extra work. I just save the model beforehand. Good call. All right, too much eyelid. I'm gonna rotate these in. There we go. And then I do like the idea of giving him like ridiculous little angry, fluffy eyebrows. So I'm gonna use extract. I now have these little eyebrows that are actually separate parts of the mesh, which is ideal because again, this is for 3D printing. So I don't want the poly paint, so the color here to do a lot of the heavy lifting, because when you print it, it's not in color, it's just gray. So if I paint a bunch of details on here, when people print it, they're not gonna be able to see that. It's cool. I still like painting them though, because it's fun for me. But I never want to paint details on there that are going to misrepresent what the model is, you know? Oh my goodness. He's looking so derpy. I love it. I think I'm actually going to make the nose two separate pieces. We're going to have like the bottom section and the top section, because noses are weird. Nope. Nope. We're not approaching it that way. Tried it. Didn't like it. Oh my gosh, he looks really goofy. I love him. He's not nearly angry enough though. We need like crank. All right, I'm gonna move these eyelids around. We want that kind of like straight line here to really get that like cranky effect. I'm probably gonna make the top eyelid a dark color, maybe. No, I liked it light. Cranky baby. Seder, this is hysterical and I hate it, and it's like actually very helpful at the same time. Wow. Eric says, my sleep paralysis demon. Man, I love that this is like speaking to you on so many levels right now. Alright, on a real note, as ridiculous as this looks, it's actually quite helpful. Which I'm certain is why Seder put it in. I'm gonna go and go ahead and move this down with eyelids. I think the eyes need to be a little bit bigger and a little closer together. Just like this. Mad little dude. Seder was like, yeah, girl, same. I was like, is this too ridiculous? Nah, it's perfect. It really is. Again, you can find good references everywhere. You just have to know what you're looking for. And sure enough, it's making my model cuter. Thank you, Seder. Jump scare. We haven't had a good Shift X moment in a bit. Woo! This is a very funny thing in ZBrush that's not useless. It's just, I don't usually have a lot of need for it because I sculpt a lot of organic things, but this is just an exploded view. So Shift X. Let's reassemble our doggo. Doesn't get old. He looks more like disappointed, or he looks like serious as opposed to just like super angry, which I like. Having trouble making these eyebrows old man fluffy without just like becoming caterpillars. So maybe we'll just leave these kind of simple. Yeah. All right, I cannot stand working on this face for another second. I need a break. Let's look at something else. Immediately wants to work on the face more. Leave it alone. Okay, we're leaving it alone. Also, thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is always a blast. I love seeing your guys' references and chat. You guys crack me up. It's a nice to have company while I work. It really is. If you're having a good time, a reminder to like the stream. It really helps me out with stonks, business, whatnot. Unless you don't like the stream, then I guess don't like it. Also, why are you here? Oh, again, any pose ideas? I want some sort of puppy cuteness. Okay, when I type in poses for puppies, I'm just getting yoga stuff, which, yes. I mean like the actual dog, though. Now with the dog doing yoga. Look, there's like a bunch of them. What? This is so cute. Not what I meant, but I'm not mad about it. All right, I'll type in puppies playing. There we go. Do not type in puppy play. Type in puppy playing. Don't ask me why I know that. Oh my god. That's why I don't, Pinterest, I don't mind showing on my stream, but Google, I don't know what Google's gonna give me sometimes. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Paint. They're just the cutest little guys. I love my job. Reaper suggested it's sneezing fire. I'm not going to do that, though that's very funny. Oh, making it fluffy and like raising the hackles. Oh, I definitely will. I mean, I just want to do like a lot of neck floof anyway. So that just totally works. Eric says, I like this pose, since isn't it supposed to be a refined, noble, transformed or something? Oh, fancy. No, it's just someone's familiar as they're in Avernus. I do love that though. Very regal, very fancy. All right, and then I have to add toe beans, unless the whole chat is going to like revolt. So to do that, I am going to just add a capsule, split mask points. We're gonna hide the base just for a moment so I can see, and then go with a dark color for contrast. So that way if I do lift up the paw, it will be visible. That's adorable. Oh my God, I love puppies. And those are just full grown dogs, but they're puppies. All right, we have a singular toe bean. All right, and then we'll make that like center pad as well. Pause. All right, I'm gonna move this around so it doesn't look so weird. There we go. All right, what are we all saying yes, no? Yes to, we're excited. Oh, that is so cute. This, but playing with a skull. All right, that's the winner. Somebody give Ray a bunch of poing. Pin message. Amazing. That's the pose we're gonna do. That's perfect. Single brain organism. Hive mind is hive minding. I like it. Torben asked about posing. Sometimes I pose in ZBrush using Transpose Master, usually for creatures. Otherwise, I use Character Creator 4. You do not have to. You absolutely can pose in ZBrush. And I did for a very long time. But now that I'm doing multiple poses, it's worth the effort to rig the character in Character Creator 4. Ooh, Eric says, I think it's gonna look more Hellhound if the brown shades turn black and the orange turns red. Sounds good. That's amazing. So we're gonna do that because we're gonna do two versions of the model now, because Lux had a very strong point. It's like, just save the cute version. I mean, they're both cute, but this is just like a normal dog right now. God, it's really cute. All the Tavern pets were leading up to this moment. Us right now. Oh my goodness. I love, like, Eric hasn't been here in a bit. Comes back as if nothing. As if you've still been here every day. Just back to peasant behavior. Back to hive mind. You've integrated nicely. All right. I know these don't look super paw pad-esque. I will fix them if they show up in the pose. If not, no. It is odd that they like you can kind of see them from the bottom. I feel like I could make that a feature. Should I give him little tiny claws too? Oh gosh, he is really cute. All right, we're gonna put a little stamp up here because as I work on small things, it's kind of hard to tell what I'm working on. So we'll do some little stamps up here so that way people, they're just tuning in can see what the heck we're working on. Oh my God, he looks so serious. Cute. He's on a mission. Look at him. Serious boy. Small. Oh my God. No, Eric, I saw that and I was like, yeah, call me a horse girl to my face. Damn, that is shady. But it was funny. Breaking news. Local horse girl. That's me. 3D sculptor. That's me. Says she hates toe beans and all things dog related. Also kind of true. Also, she hates her pheasants or something. No, I'm definitely a cat person. But I have a dog and he's wonderful. And I love animals in general. But dogs are very needy. A flame on the end of his tail. Oh, I love that. Very cool. Eric says, I may have been busy with school and work and everything, but I never left in spirit. I love that. And yeah, no, we have people that come in and out all the time. I've had people that would disappear for months or almost a year at a time. Non-sleeper, I didn't hear from in, goodness, almost 2 years. And then there he is again. I'm like, oh, non-sleeper's back. I love that. And notice that as I go, I'm always refining the shapes and the silhouette, just making it a little bit stronger as I go. Round head, flat head, in between. Oh my God, this is adorable. How is this not what I do every day? Just making little dudes. Yeah, I haven't mentioned Tavern pets in a hot minute. Partly because I'm trying to focus on the Summerfest and my Kickstarter. Oh my gosh, I made a nose. It happened, finally. You guys watched me. I was not able to make this nose over and over again. Well, because I'm trying to simplify it, and it's very tricky to like make it simplified cute without getting too detailed. Sometimes you have to just leave it alone and come back to it, and then it will happen. Are these eyeballs actually here, or no? Okay, we have more eyes than we need. Go away. May I ask why no knees? Because simple. Well, the front one's fine. The back ones, I just didn't do it. I probably will, though. I'm going to just take this. I mean, literally. Okay. Okay. Paint brings up a good point. I just wasn't doing it to be simple. But it should be... I'm so close to this being the right shape. This. Duplicate. This. That does look better. And I'm not getting close to posing, and that will make my life easier. Eric quotes, dogs are very needy. Meanwhile, our cat, we haven't fed him in 0.00005 seconds. Scream. Awesome. Again, cats aren't needy. They're just kind of a jerk. He doesn't need you in this moment. He's just demanding from you. I love cats. I don't have a cat right now. It's sad. All right, fluffy legs, fluffy everything. Oh my God, he's cute. Mad. And yeah, this was sculpted from scratch today, so in theory, you could be able to rewind and follow along and sculpt your own little dude. This entire model was just done using the Move brush and Dam Standard. I literally did not use any other brushes, unless you want to count poly paint. I colored it. Another reason why I feel very strongly about buying stuff on Humble Bundle or wherever, even if it's a good deal, because I'm like, you just don't need it. I'm not some just magical art god. We all just use the same like 4 brushes. People that create almost like every day, or just a lot. my gosh, he's so cute. Now set him on fire. It is about time to make him Hellhound-esque. I'm slowly starting to add more resolution to this cutie patootie. He ended up a little more detailed. I was waiting for this GIF. Thank you, Eric. Monkey stares at my 1,000 brushes. You don't count. We do this for a living. In ZBrush. You have... Okay. I know you're exaggerating, but if you really have bought over 1,000 brushes for ZBrush, you might have a problem. Stares at my 10,000 brushes in Photoshop. I was just going to ask, if you have 1,000 brushes in ZBrush, I don't... That's not like your main software, though. I mean, you're very multi-talented, but I know like Photoshop is your jam. Wow. Feels like I need more brushes. That sounds like a Dice Goblin issue. And then Eric mentioned that his cat screaming at him goes on for about 10 minutes before he gives up. Your cat's not doing a very good job at training you, but man, he's trying then. He just gives up? You don't just feed him? Look at that face. He's starving to death. Report Eric for animal abuse, right now. Obviously emaciated cat. God, he does look pissed. Eric says, quoting me, oh no, how come this isn't what I do every day? Says the woman whose job is to do this every day. No, this is like a little guy. Like, nah, you're right. This is what I do every day. All right, these feet are looking kind of goofed up. All right, look better. There. These need to be a little more rounded. There we go. They're on like a C curve, kind of. Yeah. They look very funny. Not mad about it though. All right, I think he's about ready to get final detail floofing and then a pose. I'm thinking I'm going to add the Hellhound-esque details possibly after it's been posed to make them nice and asymmetric. I'm not even sure exactly what's going to be Hellhound-esque. Because again, it's a hound in hell, not necessarily a hellhound, I guess. It's just a puppy that they found. It's definitely being affected by being in hell. Take a shot every time I say hell. Reaper, me, gets new brushes. Also me, uses the same default brushes. Yeah, that's also why I stopped buying them, partly. I'm really proud of this little guy. Again, making cute stuff is hard. It's very sensitive. Sater says, Mia, are you trying to get me drunk, madame? Being that you're at work? No. Ray says, take a shot every time I say hell. Nah, take a shot every day Mia wears a brown top. Listen, most of my shirts are black, but it doesn't read as well on camera. It doesn't fit the vibes. And then my white shirt's like super chronically wrinkly all the time, and I won't iron it. Yeah. Yeah. Shut up, Ray. Right, go work on your wyvern, Ray. It's time. Ray says, got him. No. No. Here. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna put you in timeout for 10 seconds. What a useless timeout duration. All right, Ray's been put in timeout for 10 seconds. It's going to delete every message he's ever sent today. Bam. You've just been nuked. You guys are so well behaved, and I have mods. I never get to kick people in timeout or ban anyone. So I have to just make it up. I mean, we can all agree that was very well deserved. Ray is already back. No, because it's only 10 seconds. But now Ray has no history. It's like you were never here. Except on my side, it just says message deleted by M3DM like 100 times. Monkey says savage. I was inspired by your angry little dude. There, look at him disapproving of you guys. Watch, now the chat's gonna be suspiciously quiet because they're like, oh no, Mia's on a rampage. I'm not. It's just a joke. Eric says, oops, my job calls for me. I bid you all adieu. Or adio. Adieu. Bye, Eric. Thanks for stopping by. Raper says, I am contracted to agree with Mia. It's true. It's true. It is definitely in the long, lengthy mod contract that I make them sign. All right. This is done. Enough futzing around. Time to do the pose. Time to do the thing. We're doing this pose. Mark is red. Don't copy. All right. We're doing this pose. That's going to be a skull. So that means I need to subdivide these, get some detail on there. And then we're going to throw us in Transpose Master. And it's going to be magical. So again, this is just subdividing, so there's lots of resolution, and then I'm going to just add some fluffy shapes here. And then I'll like blend the seams and stuff to the last thing I'm going to do. Aloha asking Torben, are you excited for posing? It's happening on stream. And Aloha's like, you're not gonna miss it. Okay. We're detailing more fuzz. Again, usually I go with like some tertiary shapes and like little fur brush or something, but in this case he's just gonna be a fluffy guy. I don't like that I did the same size of fluff so uniform, so let me go ahead and defluff the chest really quick. No, I do like that. No, this is good. This is good. Never mind. There we go. Sweet. Eric says, technically, since Ray and Mia are married, let's be really clear, it's Ricky, not Ray. Funny, but no. Ray, Ricky, and Mia are married, and therefore they are the same person, and therefore you must always agree with him too. Source, me right now, and I'm always correct. Beautiful. Yeah, right. I knew that was going to happen. Freudian slip. Eric, weren't you going back to work? I'm not married to any peasants. There we go. Aloha. Breaking news. Mia marries one of her students. Ray says sorry to Ricky. Oh no. Oh no. Is this our first stream drama, guys? Scandal. It's happening. Someone get this in Tavern quotes right now. Stat. This is why I put Ray in timeout. And he was gonna cross boundaries at some point. I love how like Eric just says like complete chaos and like mic drop leaves. Work. Sure. Alright. He has been fluffed. Eric, bye. Hush. Stay safe, gang. Amazing. Okay. We are fluffy. We have been fluffed. And Ray said, no, I'm but a sweet, innocent angel who did not deserve a timeout. You're calling me out on like the 3 shirts I wear on stream. I smell good, I swear. I do laundry very frequently. But I also like, clothes are one of those. Okay, look, as far as like presentable clothes that I don't use to like either ride or do yard work, I have a very, very limited wardrobe. I'll spend money on clothes, cute stuff at some point. I just have it's very low priority. It's very low priority. Last year was the first time that I had like bought new clothes in like 5 years. I had just been wearing Ricky's old t-shirts because Ricky got like buff and outgrew a lot of his shirts. So then I took them all. Yeah. Monkey says, the M3DM scandal unveiled. She was just sculpting her peasants on the side all along, sculpting them into the model she wanted them to be. And that can be kind of sweet. Like I am like shaping my students to be the best version of themselves. Alright, what is going on here? Stop being weird. There we go. Alright. I think it's time to pose, finally. Alright, so we got a cutie patootie right here. I'm going to copy tool, paste tool, not export, paste tool. Stop. Paste. So this is the reason why I copied this, because I'm going to pose just one version. So we'll still have our little untouched cutie version in case I want to create different breeds of dogs or variations of this, because this is actually really strong. Base Smash, the way that I built this, I could very easily make this look like different dogs pretty quickly. Let's Let's see, Ray says, Mia, hey, there's something wrong with having a couple tops. I wear primarily black and white. Aren't you in art school? I feel like you could be anything. Oh, cute. Paint has a new option here, but the ring is a portal. And the portal's on fire. Those are both really good options. I still like the skull the most, the smack on the skull, but also a great option. Ray says sounds like grooming, but yeah, she took that the nice way. What? You guys are too old for that. Right? Immediately panics. I'm like, you guys are at least 18, right? Anyway. It's posing time. But also I need a skull. So I'm going to go into item. And I have a couple skulls. I have an animal skull, and then I also have a human skull. I feel like this has got to be a human skull. Append skull. Where is it? There it is. Perfect. And this is what he will be bunking. Just bonk. Sweet. Does not need to be 50,000 points. Let's try 10. Hello, it says the M3DM PR team is in shambles right now. Hey, I've said worse. No more in shambles than usual. Agreed. Somewhere along the way we talk about art and we learn things. Okay, we're posing. So to pose in ZBrush, go to Z plugin, Transpose Master, T-Pose Mesh. Just think of this as a start button, and then next to it is an end button. Instead, they call it T-Pose Mesh and T-Pose Sub T. I know. Just start, end. That's all you need to know. All right, here's our little dude. It's pose time. I'm gonna turn off perspective so I can make sure he's on like the same plane. And then I'm going to pose his tail first because that's what speaks to me. I'm gonna put his little tail up and then stretch out this back leg because it's so far kicked out in this reference, and it's honestly adorable and unexpected. So we're masking each one of these. Come on, stop. There we go. And then I'm going to mask just one side here. So I have this selected. It's a lot of just masking and inverting that mask. I'm doing it really quickly, but it is a lot of clicking, to be honest. Make it play with a human face, not a skull. That's horrifying and doesn't make sense. I'm not going to put a literal head. It's going to be a skull. All right, cute. And again, not technically a Hellhound puppy. It is a puppy that is in hell that is becoming hellish. Yeah, Ray's like, isn't that more morbid? Yeah, we're not just putting a decapitated head with this puppy. Like, just a little skull. Oh, well, a quote, hey, Ian from Maxon, did I ever tell you about my family history? Glad we moved past that era. Stop it. So one of the reasons why I really love this pose is because it accentuates this adorable, like, droopy belly thing that all puppies have. They're all just, like, fat little guys, and I love that. You'll notice that I'm going to pose this pretty, like, stiff. Like, I'm not going to move, like, the spine or anything because it just makes it easier to keep track of all these limbs and whatnot. And I can move the skull, so I'm not worried about that. So there is like a joint here. Okay. Move this up, over. Can move the shoulder a little bit, and then I'll mask wherever that little dog elbow is. It's about there-ish. Okay. And then we'll bend the paw. Looks like he's really grabbing that skull right now. A little disturbing. We're gonna move the skull down a touch again, because the skull is there just to make the model look more interesting. I am glad I added the toe beans. You can kind of see them poking through right here. It looks really good. And I can use my move brush and move topological to really quickly grab different pieces and move them around. Cute. Can we make them a little happier? No. He says no. He is this mad. In fact, he is mad that you said that. He is now more mad. But yeah, no, seriously. We can give him a little smile. Like, look at this. Before, after. Like, it just little things. Like, aw. Can bring this up too. Now he's like feisty mad. All right, we're gonna select just the head. Turn off symmetry. You have him looking at it, like he got it. Oh gosh, this is really cute. He is very big compared to the human skull. Damn right. Aloha says, Mia, going from your recent Monday release, as long as you avoid floating geometry and thin elements, are you worried about how small something is anymore for printing? Nope. Seems everything we go for prints, as long as it's wide and isn't floating. Yep, you got it. You nailed it. Gonna move that little puppy belly down. And then even though it looks like this arm or this leg here is like mostly in the right spot, you really don't want to leave any limb just totally unposed. I swear, like you really notice. So take the time to move it, even if it's just a little bit. Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
And you have a haircut.
I sure do.
Looks very good.
Much better.
Are you happy you're not Mop anymore?
Oh, so happy. Tired of Mop.
Do you see this angry little hateful dude?
Oh my god.
Gosh, he's so cute.
You're not even working today.
No. This is great.
Awesome. Very cool.
Oh my god, he's cute. And we did all of this on stream, so therefore, just play it back slow enough, watch it enough times, and you too can sculpt this. Or something like that. This was such a good reference. Again, thank you again to Paint. You are... Nope, not Paint. It's Ray. Sorry. Paint just had a lot of good ones as well. Yoink. Nope, Ray is the reference star of the day. Paint had a very close runner-up, though, with the portal. And notice, like, just like posing, or just like sculpting, I did, like, the big forms first, and then I went through and, like, bent the paws a little bit. You're always going to be working with the, like, biggest changes first. Don't get caught up in the little details. The subtleties are for last. Always for last. Okay, that leg is way out there. Come back. So cute. This is just like, I wasn't feeling burned out anyway, but if I was, this helps. Oh, hearts for Ricky. He's gone. He's happy from the haircut. Wait till he finds out he's no longer married. Yeah, I didn't bring that up. I didn't think it was a good time. Marriage ended. Nothing lasts forever. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to traumatize you guys. One of our really good friends, Walker, was like, pretty much was like, I would never emotionally recover if you and Ricky broke up. And I was like, oh, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that. But it was funny to think about that. I'm like, oh, that would affect people outside of us. Okay, now that most of this is done, we're going to break the symmetry a bit more here. So what we're going to do is select all these limbs. And that's why I have my subtools the way that I do. And we're going to bend his little spine. Start getting this little C curve in here. It just makes the pose even stronger. So here's the before, after, which, you know? And I'll continue that C curve with the tail. Which, damn, he is adorable. Sweet. So I still have some little things that I want to clean up and change, but I don't have to do them in Transpose Master for that. I can go ahead and go Z plugin. Again, just think of this as start and end. T-pose sub T. End. And there he is. This back leg's looking a little goofed up. That's fine. It's the way that I have it connected to this paw is the big thing. When in doubt, just cover it with fluff. So right now I'm just making sure that all these limbs are where they're supposed to be, even though it's just like a cute little guy. His shoulder should be like still in a shoulder socket, and same with like his hips and all that kind of stuff. Also, there's a lot of seams because of the way that I constructed this. So pretty soon here, I'll merge those down and close up a lot of the seams. Oh, I didn't make his little booty fluffy either. Let's add a little fluff to the booty. There you go, a little fluff. I forgot my dog was in here. Maverick, the true inspiration for this model. I'm just joking. He's an angel. He is so easy. All right, I do want this to be a bit browner. Make it a bit darker. There we go. It just matches the model better. Oh, are we removing points from Ray? Oh no. Beautiful. Aloha, what are you doing, Ray? Oh my goodness. Chop chop, just accept. Aloha said, ain't no way, bro, just chop chopped at me. Look at this mod abuse. That's why I picked him. Ricky says Maverick reference in Discord. Is it a cute picture or is it a terrible picture of Maverick? Oh, it's a cute picture. This is tiny demon Maverick when he was a baby playing with our awesome lab putty. Rest his beautiful soul. This was the best dog ever. And there's Maverick being an absolute asshole. Love this dog. My god, the longer you look at it, the funnier it is. Yeah, that's my little guy. Yeah, don't antagonize mods, otherwise they turn into this. No exaggeration. Ricky, this is adorable. Thank you so much. Alright, we're gonna like inflate the skull to make it less weirdly detailed. And maybe even Z-remesh. Because it needs to fit the character that it's with. And currently it is way too detailed. It's for like my other creatures and stuff. Monkey said, I had a yellow lab named Sandy when I was younger. She looked a lot like yours. Oh, no kidding. That's awesome. He was the best boy. Alright, I guess I'm gonna make this skull even smaller because Reaper already mentioned it's too small. There. Puppy of Doom. Oh my god, he's adorable. Okay, cool. How do I make this Hellhound-esque? Ricky said, Mia, also, why are we not married anymore? Ah, yes. Yeah, I'm married to Ray now. Sorry. And it's because you guys both have a name that starts with the letter R. What can I say? I have a type. On a real note, no, one of my other cousins, Eric, accidentally said Ray because Ray and Mia are married and said Ricky and Mia. And yeah. Eric quickly left the chat after that. Unrelated. They had work. Yeah. Ricky cries, which is very funny because I think Ricky has cried like twice his entire life. And I have seen one of those instances. It doesn't even count. It's because, so we were at his sister's wedding and like his dad got choked up. It's the only time I've ever seen Ricky get choked up in his life. I think it was like an animal, like primal response of like, why is my dad upset? Because like Ricky's dad also does not emote. It was very funny. And I was looking at him like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. Yeah, sorry, Ricky, I just outed you right there. Again, you didn't, there was no actual tears or whatever, but almost the semblance of it, which is notable. Meanwhile, I cried everything. Happy, crying, mad, definitely crying. Sad, oh, waterfall. This is why I drink water all the time. Yeah. Ray says, I think as we are married, I should be a mod now. Absolutely not. Oh my god. Damn, this guy is adorable. This didn't go through like the horror stage at all. Like you guys have seen my baby Yeti, right? If you have not seen my baby Yeti before and after picture, let me know because I have to bring it up. It's important. I'm not going to post-process this today because my soul just does not want to. That's it. You'd be so productive and so good with me, and I say nay. I'm gonna make even the skull unimpressed that it's being crushed. Reaper hasn't seen it, let's go. Last time I searched it in Discord, it came up right away. Sweet, it came up again. Yeah, so usually when I'm sculpting baby or cute things, it's, you know, it's very difficult. So here's my baby Yeti. Cute as heck. This is not up for debate. The Yeti's adorable. Now what's not adorable is the work in progress it took to get there. This horrible thing. This is usually what my models go through when I'm making chibis. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. I forget how to sculpt. I have a full crash out. And then somehow we end up here. But no, this was pretty smooth and painless. I guess I finally have made enough cute models that I can do that now. It took forever to figure it out. Years. This is from February 7th, 2022. Yeah. Also, I have a scary version of him. This is his dad. This is what I'm good at. I make big scary things. And then I freaked out trying to make... I'm telling you guys, cute things are fucking hard. They are way more difficult. Make big monsters. Especially when you're just learning. Paint says, oh my god, that is cursed. Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Look at it. Lux says, that's not so bad. I was expecting like way worse. Okay, seeing Paint and Lux's reaction side by side is hysterical. Really? It's pretty bad. Come on. Come on. Compared to like how cute it ends up, it's pretty bad. These are not related. This isn't even like stepchild. This is like throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of child. Yeah. I'm so proud of this model too. This one came out really cool. Anyway, that's the Yeti. You now have lore. I love this, like the duality of man right here. All caps. Oh my god, that's so cursed. That's not so bad. Lexus, to be fair, I was only looking at the face. Okay, yeah, you gotta look at all of it. I would like to say that when I was working on that model, I was like, oh, trust the process and just like art vibes. No, I looked at that and I'm like, what the fuck? I have completely forgotten how to sculpt. I definitely had to take like a couple day break and come back to it because I was like over it. I was so over seemingly forgetting how to sculpt completely. It happens. But now it is 2025 and I'm used to it. Payne says, it looks like one of the stuffed animals that will choke you in a horror movie. It kind of does. To be clear, we're not talking about the dog. If you're just tuning in, I just have to be very clear. This is adorable. No choking here. All right. Well, I think this little dude's done. I don't know. Let me review the request because I didn't super like Hellhound-ify it. The request exactly is, Hell is taking a weird twist on the pup as it's growing though. Can you make me a beloved mastiff / hound of hell? So we went more of like a Tibetan mastiff here, for sure. I mean, he's stepping on a skull. He has violent tendencies are happening. I like it. Wrinkly boy. Yeah, I could do something on the paws like this, like some sort of like cracking. Okay, let's do that. That'd be really easy and lots without tons of effort. So I'm gonna merge down his legs. Reconstructing high subdiv. Ooh, okay. You don't need to. Oh, because it kept them. Okay, good job. Just kidding. We can just Dynamesh this instead. There we go. Yeah, like this is 1.8 million points. It doesn't need to be. Now it's 57,000 points. We're going to duplicate this. We'll have normal legs and not normal legs. And then I'm going to use a alpha to achieve this. See if I get the result that I want. We're going to go with a like really dark red and turn on poly paint. That's not what I want. Yeah, something kind of like that would be cool. Yeah. Hellhoundify. Just like a little tinted. This is how the unpainted version is going to look. Wow, it's blinding white. Relax. Adorable. Sater says, Mia, you're doing the Avernus thing without even realizing. Sweet. Hey, new sub. Thank you. Deus Ex Computer. Appreciate it. And then Paint just says, Yoink is the opposite of yeet. Is this in relation to something? Either way, yes. Alright, this is a cutie patootie. Let's go ahead and get a screenshot of this, and it's about done. Again, I'm not going to post-process it for 3D printing because I don't want to, even though it'll only take like 10 minutes. We'll see. Maybe I will. Okay. Smile. Sweet. Art. Alright, this is a Descent into Avernus spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this or be spoiled, stop listening. When you go into the Avernus, there is corruption mechanic, which is slowly affecting the puppy that slowly corrupts non-native beings, slowly is turning them evil. Yes, it literally forces your character to become evil. Oh, sweet. I actually made the corruption thing. Totally intentional. Thank you, Satyr. And again, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Anytime we hit over 20 viewers, I always feel really proud of that. My goal is 10. So when we double that, I'm like, ooh, stonks. But on a real note, thank you guys for being here. Like the stream if you haven't, it really makes a big difference. The stream has grown a lot over the last few months, and it's just awesome. I feel really grateful to be able to do what I do and make little dudes like this. Sometimes big scary dudes, sometimes little cute dudes. I just think it's the coolest thing. I get such different requests, you know? Satyr said, I meant to have the spoiler tag. I am the worst. It's okay, you've done worse. Don't worry about it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save this. We'll call it Hellhound, even though it's really just adorable. I hope this looks Mastiff enough. I didn't really go for like the wrinkly approach. I did more like a fluffy Tibetan Mastiff. I think she'll like it still. I mean, how much can you dislike it? It's freaking adorable. All right, let's go to work in progress. We'll save this as Tibetan Mastiff. Is there 2 Fs? We're gonna find out. Hellhound. Adorable. All right, well, that brings us to the end of our Tavern Keeper's Craft. It is currently 2:20. I am super hungry and did not eat breakfast. I'm definitely gonna cook on my break. I'll probably be on for up to 30 minutes. Just know that by the start of the next hour, it's currently 2:20, so by 3 at the absolute latest, I'll be back. That's a long break. That'd be 40 minutes. What scale I'm gonna make the puppy? Everything is 28mm scale, but it'll be a larger model for sure. So see how like this is a normal 28mm character. So she's like, okay, that's a bad example. It's a mermaid. It's literally a mermaid. Here's a man. So this is 28mm scale, which means 28mm from foot to eye level. But if they have high heels on, or if they have like, if there's a tall dude, they'll be a little taller. All right, what am I doing? Here we go. This. So the puppy is going to be like the height of like where my finger's at. But I usually just scale it to the base because when you're making just like cute stuff, sometimes it's a huge pain to have like accurately scaled. Like it's really hard to paint. Like for example, like that's a really big raven on that rock, technically. But it looks really good in context, you know? So, yes. But I provide no base versions. You can scale it however you want. Oh, that's awesome. Check him out. Vicious. Okay. I'll be back. Grab a drink, grab a snack. And while you are waiting, it would mean the world to me if you went ahead and followed my Kickstarter project. It launches on Friday, and it's free to follow it. So check it out. Again, I'm super excited for this. It's 40 really cool models that I've worked on, and then it's supported for resin and FDM. Again, it's super sick. Launching on Friday. Check it out. Alrighty. Ray says, oh, I thought he'd be big because of the head. The bigger the head, the cuter and chibier it is. Like, for example, look at the proportion of this cherry blossom dragon head versus the rest of the model. Make sense? That's a big misconception that happens a lot. Big head, baby. Not big. Small head, tall. Okay. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey y'all, welcome back. It is the beginning of happy hour. So if you're a student and you have work for me to review, and now is the time. And if not, we'll just keep making art, doing cool stuff. All right. I am stream ready. All right, I see you have a couple DMs. Let me go ahead and check these out. All right, is Nerd still here? Curious. All right, so my assignment for Nerd was plan and create something, because to create something simple, this time with a proper plan. And they put forth a full character. So here's my choice for the assignment. I chose it because I love the character. The face is covered and the outfit's basically skin tight. I figured that will let me work some of the details, not to worry about a face or how much cloth works. This is not simple. This is very difficult. No. How about you pick an asset from this, like her belt or just the wrappings. Again, great character, but not simple. This is gonna knock you on your ass. It's awesome though. So let me go ahead and put this little stamp of where I responded. I think it was roughly here. Usually I'm better at grabbing my stamp. There we go. All right. Awesome character though. Who doesn't love this? But yeah, I would really encourage you to just pick one aspect of it. You can work on the mask for this assignment, or the wrappings or the belt. And then very, very soon, you're going to be in project work and you can tackle the whole character. I'll have multiple assignments where you can break that down. But for now, this is not simple. This is awesome. Not simple. All right. And then after that, we have Taka. Sweet, sweet. All right. That is more about... Taka is my newest student, so I sent them an onboarding message this morning. So I'll respond to them off stream because that's not anything that's reviewable. There's no work. It's just telling me about where they're at in their art journey and how I can be part of it. Empress is here. Hello. Ray says, whoa, check out the biceps. Oh, on me? Yeah, dude, I know. No, I'm like, it's happening. This side's a lot bigger than this side. I noticed that recently, and I'm trying to square out. It's difficult. But like, yeah, I'm actually getting stronger, guys. It's happening. Woo. And then Slater says, too late, be gone, peasant. What happened? Oh, it's Ray. Yeah, you guys, so I'm sitting there, I'm eating my baked potato during my break, and what were you guys talking about during the chat? I was like, there were some things I read there that I'm gonna have to talk to Sater and have a serious chat in our mod chat where I'm like, you can't talk about that on stream. Oh my goodness. Anyway, hello, Empress. What have I missed? How is everyone? Yeah, how are you, Empress? Are you feeling stuck with your assignment or are you doing okay? Because like you cooked really hard for a long time. I want to make sure you're not feeling burned out. If you need like a clear, like just be told what to do, I can give you a little something to work on. Foxy says, Mia, you should be worried. Sater and me are maybe the same person. Which by math, that means we are all the same person because Sater and I are constantly saying the exact same thing. Ray, yeah, Sater, you got in trouble. Oh my god. All right, I don't think there's any other assignments to review, so let's talk about the Summer Artfest really quick. If you're not in our Discord, you're super welcome to join, and if you like creating literally anything, I don't care if you like to garden, that's creative. If you're a musician, that's obviously very creative. Every week we have a set of prompts. This week it's forgotten, masked, and mechanized. Pick one prompt. Pick all the prompts. I don't care. Make something. Here are some submissions we've had so far. I made this Eldritch Horror thing. Someone made a stat block for a toy. Monkey made a map. We have a sculpture work. Oh, that's a nice base. Good job. But seriously, it can be anything. This is their submission for forgotten. My big face is in the way. There we go. So literally whatever you want. Just create something. This is just to get you guys excited about creating and enjoying your summer. So yeah. Thank you. Okay, cool. Good, Empress. I'm so glad. You had a great weekend. Good. Beautiful. All right. So a little review on the stream here. We worked on a Patreon request, and that's the whole bread and butter of what I do. I make 3 printable models, and they're all for tabletop games. So whether you like D&D, Pathfinder, Gloomhaven, whatever flavor, I make minis for it. And today was to make a puppy, like a mastiff. I want more like a Tibetan mastiff that is in Avernus. So that's the D&D equivalent of hell. So it's not a hellhound, but it is a hound in hell. So yes, this is what we worked on today. We sculpted this from scratch. It was a good time. A lot of little things to keep in mind when you're making things that are cute. A lot of very, very sensitive proportions and whatnot. So as of right now, I'm probably going to get this ready for 3D printing, unless I have any other questions. It is happy hour. This is your guys' time. So if you have any questions, please do type in M3DM, tag me, and I will answer. You can also put questions in the live stream hub. That's also a thing. Did somebody request an angry puppy? Pretty much. Pretty much. And then Ray says, I just want to see what Mia says in response to you, Sater. Sater says, hey, if we're constantly saying the same thing, then that means she was thinking what I said, which then means I can't be in trouble without her being in trouble. The difference is I know what inside thoughts are. Sater says, and what? We were just talking about the size of your head. Okay. No. 3D print time. So, this is kind of interesting because we have a secondary asset that's going to be part of it, which is this skull here. I'm just making sure we don't have any weird thin elements. Like this jawbone isn't connecting to the outside. I don't know what this is called. Like this bone right here. It's like behind the orbital socket, which is this. I don't know what it's called. I'll look that up. But anyway, let's go ahead and make this so that touches, no problems, pretty good. Subdivide a few times, and then remesh by union. So the thing with 3D printing, it's like, what is 3D printable? And the answer to that is like pretty much everything. As long as it's solid and not like hair thin, tiny elements, like you're good to go. Especially because 3D printers just keep getting better and better, which means it can handle more nonsense. There we go. So what I'm going to do right now is merge down the puppy into one piece. See, right now I have all these individual pieces. This is 3D printable as is. I'm just optimizing it. So we have some weird seams and stuff, so we're going to fix up all of that. We're going to put the skull at the top of my subtool menu and the base, and then I'm going to just make this really easy on myself and just click merge down from the top. You'll see that all combines into one nice and simple piece. Monkey said, what'd I miss? There's a drama. No, it's just me fighting with my mods. Don't worry about it. Beautiful. Oh yeah, nothing much. Just Mia's got bigger biceps on one arm. Filthy. Oh my goodness. You like gave me a compliment and then I pointed out a flaw and now that's what it's about. I am asymmetrical, but that's fine. Aren't we all? All right, let's go ahead and move this skull. There we go. That looks good. And now it's time to work on the puppy itself. So I have perspective turned off. What does that mean? Here, I'm toggling perspective on and off. But what's happening? Essentially, when something is closer to your eyeball, in this case the camera, it appears bigger. And as it's farther away, it appears smaller. So that's what perspective is. When it's toggled on, the skull is closer, so it appears bigger. When I turn it off, it just flattens everything. There you go. So I want to work with and without perspective because I want to make sure that the bottom of his feet are totally flat. So that way, if you print this without a base, which I do offer, you can scale it however you want. You can print this big, this big, this big, however you want. By default, I do everything 28mm scale. That's just what I like to play in. A lot of people like 32, and that's totally an option. All right, we're going to remesh by union or dynamesh, and we'll start closing up some of these seams because right now these are all distinct pieces. So this section of the mesh, see how it comes out over here? That is intersecting with this other piece. So there's a lot of topology that's redundant. Again, it will 3D print, but it's not very well optimized. We can do better than that. I'm going to use a clay brush right now to close up any seams. So see how I have all these lines right here? I'm just kind of blending them by using the clay brush. Some of the seams look good because I added a bunch of fur and fluff, but we do want to soften them still. I'm going to turn off poly paint here and there because like right now you can kind of see like the meshes tearing through each other, and because they're poly paint it doesn't look great. So I'll just go ahead and turn off poly paint so it's easier for me to see what I want to clean up. I think I did a pretty good job of explaining all that, but if you have questions, you're just like, what? Let me know, and I will explain it again in a different way. It drives me crazy when I don't understand something and I'll ask someone a question and they just like verbatim repeat what they just said, and I'm like, I'm not deaf, I just didn't understand. I had a professor that was like that in college, so like just nobody asked him questions because dude was like a textbook. If you asked him a question, he would just give you the exact answer. God forbid if you needed it explained in a different way, you were on your own. You were SOL. So something else with the way that I constructed this with all these different subtools, it's really easy for me to manage and to move them around. But if I also want to make this look more like a plushie, it'd be really easy because I kind of already have these like pre-made seams. But he is not a plushie, so. All right. Very cute, looking good. Let's go ahead and reduce the resolution. Currently it's at 6 million points, which is like way more than we need. Let's bring it all the way down to 100,000. Hey, the 1-3 artist is back. Well, welcome back. Monkey says, you should hang out with my dad. Say more. He explains everything 15 times, but he says it's slightly different, but the same each time. That's actually great teaching. Yeah. Sater mentions, yeah, Mia, that drives me nuts. I heard you. I just didn't understand. Try a different phrase in your question. Yeah, right? I get you. I get you. That's like when I tell you guys, like, if I say something you don't understand, feel free to ask your question again. I'm not going to give you the exact same copy-paste response. It's good practice for me, too, to try to, like, think of things different and word them different. Yeah. Ray said she sounded disappointed in me. Not disappointed, just angry. No, I'm just kidding. And Mikey says, no, it's not. It's so annoying. Spoken like you're his son. Yep. Oh, I love it. I get you. If someone repeats themselves 15 times unprompted, that can be painful. Yeah. All right, so we're currently decimating this down. It's almost done. It's reordering. It's thinking about it. Today's stream went by fast. Man, it's already 3 hours in. Well, since I don't have a lot of student work to review, I'm going to try and knock out some of the projects I have open. Sweet, that went reduced in size, no problem. So you can tell right here, it's like perfectly smooth. 6 million points, way more than I need. Way more than I need. And then when after I decimated it, you can see a little bit of pixelation. So here's the before, looks quite smooth and polygrouped. And this is the after. Ugly, awful, triangles. Doesn't matter for 3D printing. All right, if I can have that ear touch his face, it'd be nice. It's not a huge deal. Thinking. It just seems like a silly thing to need supports. So I'm gonna grab my Move Topological brush and see if I can scoot his ears in to touch his face and make sure that doesn't like ruin the silhouette or make him look really goofy. Because it would make my life a lot easier if I didn't have to put a teeny tiny support. Okay, I moved the ears over. Let's check from the front and do a little before and after. That's the before, that's the after. I do like the before better, but not enough to support it. So we'll just adjust the silhouette to kind of bring back what we lost. And there you go. It's the best of both worlds. Did you guys watch Hannah Montana growing up? Because I sure did. Okay. Looks good. His back feet look really funny. But you know what? It's fine. Just a goofy little guy. I never know what I'm going to make. This is great. All right, we're going to remesh by union, and they'll reduce that poly count even further. And then get rid of those like intersecting meshes. You just don't need them. It's just redundant topology. So right now, the ear is separate from the head, from the eyeballs, that kind of stuff. But where the eyeballs sit inside of the head really just doesn't need to be there. So I'll just click on my little gear here in my 3D gizmo and remesh by union. And then that should take care of it. Except it didn't. Why aren't you remeshing? What are you upset about? What if I just tell you to do it again? No? Interesting. Okay. There's no mesh issues. Oh, I have the same thing duplicated a couple times, and that was part of the construction process. That was a mistake. Delete. I have 2 copies of all of the limbs because I have a non-diseased leg. Okay. I think it's upsetting ZBrush. Not a big deal. All right, Ray has a question. Mia, could you please explain what tessellate and its respective settings of decimate and tessellate do? So I don't do a lot to do with tessellation, but just in broad strokes, decimation reduces poly count, tessellation increases poly count. I don't know if you can just like tessellate things outside of Sculptress Pro. Sculptress Pro adds topology as you need it. It's very, very cool. But yeah, that's like the broad strokes of it. Is that answering your question? I'm just kind of giving you definitions there. One reduces your topology and one adds it. And they're both in respective to detail. So when you think detail, just think deformation. Because fine details deform the polys a lot. Like a bunch of little scales or a bunch of like strands of hair. Make sense? That one 3D artist says, this looks like a very menacing mono-headed Cerberus. It really does. I feel like this would become a 3-headed very, very easily. Very cute. Aloha says, I'm sitting over here with the models of gore and pure horror. Whilst my mentor makes this, even so, I'm still like, yes, more cute floof. Very good. I love it. The duality of man. There we go. I think that's why I didn't want to remesh by union. It was upset. There we go. Fixed. When you have identical meshes exactly on top of each other, the remesh by union gets a little confused because they're like, it's the same mesh. What do you mean remesh by union? The whole thing is union. Ray says, Mia, so does decimate maintain detail more than Z-remeshing by half? Yes. Oh, yes. Z-remesher is not to... No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me think for a second here to best explain this. Okay, we're going to start with definitions. Decimation master, its only goal is to reduce the topology with respect to detail. So deformations in the mesh. It doesn't care about even quads. It doesn't care about any of that. Rigging, no, doesn't care. It just wants to reduce the resolution of your mesh, which for me is in 3D printing is just perfect. Z-remesher has a different goal. Z-remesher wants to take your model and cover it with even quads the best that it can. So it's not going to introduce triangles, or at least it tries not to. While Decimation Master doesn't care. It's like, I'll cover your whole model in triangles. I think this is now only triangles, actually, because this is Decimation Master's work. Great question. They're very different tools that can seem similar on the surface. You can retain detail with Z-remesher by adding subdivision levels and then projecting detail back on. That is an option. But they have very different jobs and very different uses. Really great question. If my explanation didn't make sense, tell me, complain. I will explain it again in a different way. Because one thing I'm not doing right now is I'm not giving you a demo, and sometimes showing you is way more clear. So if you need that, let me know. I'm happy to show you. I'm gonna blend the seams to these funny little feet to make them look a little less weird. Because they're kind of weird. It's a little weird. It's okay. All right. Turning off perspective, and now we're gonna flatten his little feeties. I'm using the knife brush to flatten this. It does a really good job of adding like nice simple topology on the bottom. I find trim rectangle doesn't do quite as nice of a job. Both of them like to crash though, especially if you're dealing with higher res than you should be. So just keep that in mind. So I get this question and complaint a lot when it comes to ZBrush, and it's pretty much complaining about how much ZBrush crashes and it's so unstable and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sure, it crashes. I get it. Sometimes genuinely unwarranted. Earlier today, I renamed a subtool and it crashed. I'm like, okay, that was a little dramatic. However, don't write off every crash you get in ZBrush. You may also be the problem. And certain operations aren't meant to be done at like 5 million points. So just keep that in mind. What I'm trying to say is it's not ZBrush, it's you. But no, on a real note, like it has to do probably with your workflow. It could be a symptom of that. All right, cutie patootie, almost done. That one 3D artist says, this is very cute. I have 2 golden retrievers who turn 1 next weekend. When they were pups, they chased bugs, and when they crossed their path, they would do the cutest little one paw stomp on the bug, and this pose exactly what it looks like. Funny you say that, because that's the reference one of our peasants grabbed here. So I'm glad. And this is why grab real references, right? Because it's like a double win. 1, your model looks more interesting, more convincing. And then 2, you get people that can like, you know, have like their own real life memories that are inspired by that. Very cool. I love to hear that. It's exactly why I like grabbing real references. Beautiful. And then Foxy says, Mia, can Satyr, Monkey, and me start a Grognards club where we can lovingly complain about 5e, D&D, and Wizards of the Coast? Go nuts, y'all. If you need a different channel to bitch, I mean, I can do that for you. Whatever you'd like. Go nuts. As of now, you can just like absolutely just go in general. You can start a thread. I don't know, Satyr's a mod. He can make a channel for you guys. Empress says, also, please let ZBrush do its thing. It needs time to process your operation, so stop spam clicking if it locks up for a moment. Yeah. Empress is just talking in general, but I am in that picture and I don't like it. Thank you. It's crazy to think that you had no idea how to use ZBrush just 2 months ago, Empress. I'm very proud of you. All right, we are almost done with this model. Whoa. Cutie patootie. Monkey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not a grognard. Is this like the new Chad, but in like, is this like the new neckbeard equivalent? Because I have not heard that. I am out of the loop. Yeah, I shaved the beard on my neck. Okay, there we go. I know, I was like, same, but different. Aloha says, I would recommend creating a thread so only those who are interested in seeing it, that discussion will see it, which is Aloha's very respectful way of keep that trash to yourself. Empress says, thank you. I still have so much further to go, but the road behind me feels so long ago now. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Don't lose sight of that. Appreciate how far you've come. It will get you through like rough days in art for sure. Excuse me. And Satyr says, I am also not of having a neckbeard, but I am indeed old and crusty. That's great. And then Satyr says, no, it's a real term and older than me even. No kidding. I'm just a wee lass. I wouldn't know. I'm just kidding. I'm almost 30. All right, this is looking great. Very happy with it. I'm gonna load in a finished model that I kind of use as scale reference, which is funny because I'm gonna kind of throw that out the window for this puppy. I'm not really gonna make it normal scale. I like to make my baby beasts much more exaggerated, so they're not just a huge pain to paint. If you want your models to be micro-sized and accurate and a pain to paint, more power to you. I give it a no-base version for people like that. But for the rest of us, we don't like painting things that are this big. Even if it is more actually accurate. You know what I mean? All right. There we go. Okay, this is a little too big. Okay, it doesn't need to be like literally gigantic. There's a happy medium. So like an actual puppy would be like the size of like her foot, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's a huge pain. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make him like this big. Happy in between. Bam. Especially because they're not on the same base, and so it's just easier to move minis that aren't microscopic, you know? Yeah. That 1-3 artist says, are all your models made to be printed without support? Ha! Oh, I wish. That would be... No. They need support. All of them. All of them need support. So here's like a fun little... I mean, some of my models are supportless. Do I have any of them next to me? No. Nope, I don't have anything that's supportless. Come on, Mia. I do have some, I promise. Hey, new sub. Thank you. Tomas. All right. Let me do a little note, like what needs to be supported and what doesn't. What are we even talking about here? Let me show you in a way that actually makes sense and is easy to understand. Okay, here's our mini. Here's our cute little dude. I print flat on the build place like a heathen. I don't rotate them. I don't think you really just do not need to. None of these were tilted 35 degrees back. You can just print flat in the build plate. It's fine. If you're printing gigantic models, sure. But even like my larger models here, I still printed flat in the build plate. The only downside to that is I get this little tiny lip at the bottom of the base. I don't care. All right, so this is how it works. Printers, 3D, whether it's FDM or resin, so liquid or plastic, it doesn't matter. They print layer by layer and they build up on each other. So let's kind of do an example with this model here. So as we're printing her feet, no problems there. Everything is connected, and each time I move up, there's something more to build upon. However, let's say we get to like this quiver here. It kind of will print because it's at a 45 and it can kind of build upon itself, but it might start to get a little rounded off. So you put a support there. The cape, on the other hand, is completely free floating. It just appears out of nowhere. We have a body and suddenly there's a cape. So you would need supports on the bottom of this to have something to build upon. Does that make sense? And if you're like, no, it doesn't make sense, it's okay. Let me show you a mini that is almost supportless. This guy is pretty much just like a rectangle, okay? Even his like staff touches the ground here, so you wouldn't need supports because it's all connected. It has something to build upon. Think like if Minecraft had gravity. I know right now in Minecraft you can just place a block in the middle of nowhere, but technically you have to build blocks up to it and then knock them down after the fact. You can't just like place a block in midair unless there's something touching it. So just, you can kind of think of it like that. If his hand right here was touching the raven, this would be a completely supportless model. That's the only thing that had a little gap. Looking back, we should have just made him touch the raven. Anyway, I hope that makes a little bit more sense. I don't expect you to get it all at once. It's like complicated and not at the same time. You get better the more that you do it. Yes. Empress. Bigger, giant puppy. Yeah, Orb's crack brush, if you have it, it's a lifesaver. Yes, okay. I talk about this brush too many times to not show it to you guys. It is free, Orb crack brush. I think the guy who shares this, I don't know, I think he worked at Blizzard, I can't remember. Anyway, he shares them for free and he's great. And he will have a name soon. Not yet, but soon. I'm gonna put this, Michael Vicente. I don't know if this is exactly the same guy you're talking about, but this is what I think you're talking about. Bam. There's a link to that. It is free. It's awesome. The specific brush in here that is Orb Crack, I think is This one of them like lets you like draw. It's great. Some of these like will just put in like a couple rocks or that kind of thing, but some of these are continuous and they're awesome. Again, great brush pack, free, amazing. Yes. What did you work on? Heroes of the Storm. What is that though? Is this Blizzard? Yeah, BlizzCon. There you go. Yeah. Yes. But there's a link in the chat to this right now. Again, this is a free brush. It's awesome. This is where I use Flatten Preserve Edge. Love that brush. Sater says that one 3D artist is secretly Orb. That would be hysterical. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. A lot of you guys are very talented. It's ridiculous. Okay. Ray says, are supports just super thin strands you can break off later? Yes. Yes. I'm looking at anything. I don't have anything that has supports on it. But yes, you break them off. You were correct. Ray says, I love seeing that after saying don't touch brush pack. She's advertising them. No, listen. Torben, I know, doesn't know how to sculpt anything in ZBrush. He is brand new, doesn't even have software downloaded, and he's already asking about brush packs to buy. That drives me crazy. It seems like, I don't know what it is, but like some people, I'm not saying Torben, I'm just saying literally just there are people, they will do anything to learn art except create art. And I just don't get it. They keep buying sketchbooks, and they keep buying pencils and pens and tools. Just make art. That's the best way to learn, truly. Yeah. And then that one 3D artist has like eyes and like, shh. Are you Michael? Really? Oh my god. I don't know. I haven't sufficiently stalked you yet. Torben's like, lol, I am here. I'm glad that you're still lurking. You gotta be clear. Not you. That's a great question though. Seriously. And I wasn't advertising. I was sharing. And it's free, so it's not gonna be commission. Any other questions? No, I promise that wasn't shady. Torben. I was very clear. Oh my goodness. It's a great question though. And that's why I was able to I'm going to make an example out of you lovingly. And it is true. Okay, I need to export this before I say something else rude or helpful. Which one is it going to be? I don't know. Hey, Paint's back. Hey, Paint, welcome back. I'm just being a menace, don't worry. Nothing new. All right. On a real note, doing actual art stuff. Speaking of scaling and whatnot, I make sure that I offer my models without a base in case people want to print them gigantic. Like Empress was like, I think Empress wants the dog to be this big, which is awesome. And you can do that because I offer a no base version. Okay, let's export this. Although it says, Mia, on your bases around the sides, it's really clean and smooth. I assume for quality of use when moving on the table on the mat. Do you have models that maybe have like engravings on the base? Oh yeah, you can detail the side of this as much as you want. I do not, it is not for smoothness on the playmat at all. I like pick them up and move them around. And most of my games are online. Anyway, it's smooth because I think it's nice to paint that a nice like pitch black. And that's how I just like to paint my models. Empress says, okay, so on the brush pack, can you import them all at once or should you do it one at a time? So here's the thing about that. If you go to your brush palette, so by clicking B and clicking on load brush, it is going to load in a brush, and I think you can do multiple at a time. It's not going to be there next time though. If you want the brush to be there every time, you need to go into like your ZBrush like files. Okay, so on Mac, you go to applications. Where did ZBrush? There it is. ZBrushes, and you put it like here. This is still not in the right place. I think you put it under Z startup. Oh, I'm so unprepared for this question. I'm sorry. You have to put it in like your files though, if you want the same brushes to actually show up in your palette all of the time. So yes. But to have it in there just quick and easy, yeah, just B, load brush. What man? Oh yeah, that one for your artist. Just set that. The lag is legendary and hilarious. I'm about 20 seconds in the future. So if I answer stuff oddly, that's part of the reason why. I also just answer things oddly sometimes. Alrighty. Let's move this little pupper over here and then make sure that his little feet are in the base. Hello, it says, yeah, so it's like Z startup and then whatever file type it is, like brushes go into brushes. Yes, big caveat, not always. I know it sounds stupid, but I swear I've loaded stuff in before and like it wasn't there. But yes, but no. Okay, this looks good. Just a little guy. Sweet, and I'll go ahead and export this as its own other piece. We'll call it A. All right, and I'm using Mesh Mixer, but you absolutely do not have to. I just like doing this because it really easily complains about any mesh errors. Look at this chunky puppy. Cool. Oh, how funny, I have a mesh error on my base. Didn't expect that. No problem. Is that base super high res? Ugh, it is 20,000 points. Ew, it doesn't need to be. Yeah, that's unnecessary. Let's bring that down to half. Nah, it's fine. All right, gonna export this as Hellhound puppy. We'll have a no base and decorative base per usual. Hello, says me, I'd use that ruler thing. Or are you way past that? Yeah, I'm way past that. I never use the ruler. No, but seriously, I made a reference. So this is like equivalent of a 6 foot tall man. And then I can use my analysis tool in here to measure exactly from the eye level to his foot, which is 29 millimeters. So he's a little on the tall side. Not a big deal. And I kind of just use that as a reference and make sure everything looks proportional to that. But then I also break my own rules all the time where this puppy is gigantic. But again, that's just so much easier and more fun to paint. Truly, truly. And if someone does want a tiny, tiny dog, that's fine. They can scale that themselves. But for the rest of us who don't want to paint things the size of our pinky nail, this is the way. Sweet. I love it. Ah, yes. Why use a ruler when you have a man instead? That was a crazy way to say that. Yeah. Exactly, I guess. Do I hear a police car? Okay, shit, I thought I heard that too. What is happening? Okay, now we're good. I have like 3 neighbors, so if there was actually something happening, I would want to, make sure everything's okay. No, everything's fine. We have a sheriff that lives down the road, so he probably got a call and then zoomed to go get to said call, so we're fine. All right, let's come back a little bit here, get this cute painted version as I upload this to my Google Drive. And he's finished. Adorable. That means I get to fix. All right, Hellhound puppy. Spreadsheets for the win. Sweet. Foxy says, how do you live next to 3 people? I live in the middle of nowhere. Don't you normally have one house to the left and one house to the right? I do not live in a neighborhood. I live in the middle of nowhere. I mean, if you go far enough, there is someone down on this side on the road. Like, if you keep... yeah. I live in East Tennessee. Like, it's very rural out here. Not to mention, like, we don't have a lot of land. We're on less than, like, almost on an acre, which isn't much, but still, like, my horse lives here, like, on property. And then my neighbors own, like, an additional, like, 100 acres, so that's all around us. Ray says, okay, guys, road trip to Mia's. It's pretty out here. All right, there's now a crunchy channel, I see. Where'd you put it? Where'd you hide it? Here we go, table games design. I love that you guys have this to go be crunchy. You put it at the bottom of miscellaneous. That is so funny. Oh, awesome. Oh, bless. I knew this would summon outside context, Cassie. They can be kind of intense in like a good way. I think it's just the way they come across on like over text. I think they're just really dry. But anyway, of course they found that channel immediately. I love that. That's gonna be fantastic. Very good. Tavern quotes. Oh my goodness. That's right. Ray and I are married now. Forgot about that. Okay. Sarah says, Mia, where else to put it? No, I just thought it was funny that it was like at the bottom of miscellaneous. I don't know. There's something about it that's just like, I don't know. Oh, I can't read that aloud, but it's very funny. Sader says, Mia, you're forgetting British. They don't understand the concept of open land that isn't farmable. Oh yeah, it is not. I mean, again, there is lots of farming and agriculture in Tennessee, but like, yeah, no. I'm trying, like, I'm gonna dox myself. I'm not, never mind. We're done. Empress says, Mia lives so far and nowhere. She has to ride horseback every day to the store. The nearest neighbor and tumbleweed. It's how she gets rid of her students and no one knows. Shh. You guys are goofy. All right, we finished this model. I like it. Very good. We're really close to finishing that giant snake too, which I started last week and then I have not opened it since. So, maybe I'll finish that right now. Kind of don't want to though. Maybe I'll get another model pose ready. Yeah, let's get the goth pirate wizard that we made yesterday pose ready. It's happy hour. We can do whatever. But a reminder, like seriously, if you guys have questions that are on topic and about art, that is technically what this is for. All right, here's our goth pirate. There she is, early 2000s, straight out of Bloodborne looking. Love it. She's also a wizard. Love it. That one 3D artist says, oh, you're in Tennessee? My parents want to live there. I recommend it. I'm in Texas. Oh, nice. I've been in Texas several times. I mean, I had to drive through the top of Texas to get here. My God, the top of Texas, it just looks the same the whole way. Again, I was excited to drive through Amarillo because, like, the country song, Amarillo by Morning. And I'm just like, oh, this is so exciting. And then I'm like, oh, I'm underwhelmed. Tumbleweeds. But I had family that lived in San Antonio for a long time. And now I actually have family that recently moved back and that lives outside of Dallas. Beautiful. Very beautiful. Have you always been in Texas, or is that just where you are now? That one 3D artist says, I have never seen this beautiful model before, but we have never met. She is my queen. Where is Rudy? Rudy's one of my friends, and they were here when I made this Yesterday? Dear God, I have no memory. I think this was yesterday. And I know Rudy, like, from real life. I don't know how to put that, like, in real life. Anyway, this is so his type, too. I thought it was so funny. Torben's from Denmark. That explains your name. That definitely makes sense. I don't know any other Torbens. Sater says, complaining about Nebraska. It's just a sea of green and not in a good way. All corn. All of the corn. Yeah, I only know one person that was from Nebraska, and I hated him. So, my thoughts on Nebraska, not good. My sample size of 1, very strong. Certainly reliable. Yes. Oh, I missed that comment from Ray where he has to learn to share. No. I'm going to ban you for the second time today, Ray. Okay. Anyway. Character creator ready. So, as you can see, I name things like an absolute animal. This is shirt underscore trenchcoat 3. Shirt underscore trenchcoat 4 underscore 1. It's because I just take the same subtool and duplicate it a million times to create the rest of my model. And if I put this in a character creator, it will absolutely throw up. So, I have to fix it. And that's what we're going to do. If you have more questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just not going to explain it. Because I already explained it earlier this stream. And then that 1 3D artist says, no kidding. I grew up in the West Coast and moved to Texas about 4 years ago. I've been to a few states, but I keep coming back to Texas. Girl, I think you and I are around the same age, too. Are you talking to me or talking to a different girl? Me, I think we can hit that chest with the inflate brush. Are you talking about me? No. But no, if you are talking about me, that 1 3D artist, yeah, I lived in California for the first 29 years of my life. In Hanford, California. Yeah. Small town, but not small compared to where I am now. And yeah, I don't know. I definitely fit in a lot better in Tennessee. I really love it out here. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you keep coming back to Texas. You kind of found your spot. That's fantastic. Empress chaotic laughing. Torben, yes, I did see your comment. It was off topic, so I didn't read it out loud, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, oh shit, SoCal or NorthCal? Valley, so SoCal. I was an hour south of Fresno, but I lived in Fresno for 6 years. I got my mechanical engineering degree at Fresno State. But I mean, I lived there for almost 30 years, so I know all of California quite well. Empress says, if I could use an inflate brush on my chest, I'd be so happy. You know, I used to think that, and then I was like, you know what? I am small and petite. It works out. That 1 3D artist says, oh my god. Do you know me? Maybe we went to the same place? Small world? Girl, we were so close. What city? I lived in the IE. I don't know what that is. I feel like I should know because I lived there. What? Oh, you're 26. Yeah, we are like almost the same age. No kidding. How funny. That's very cool though. Sometimes I just completely blank on acronyms too. Foxy says, imagine moving hundreds of miles away from where you were born. Mia, my family's taken 7 generations to migrate 20 miles. No kidding. Oh, that's so interesting. I understand, like, the United States is way different than, like, the UK and stuff, but that is a remarkable sentiment, truly. And to be exact, I think Ricky and I drove 2,300 miles to get here. Somewhere around there. Over 2,000. Yeah. Empress, you were born in the Bahamas? Oh my goodness. To Florida, to Indiana, to Texas. And then that 1 3 artist. Been to Azusa County. I actually don't know where that is. Orange County? Of course I know where that is. In Riverside. The worst. Oh, no kidding. Cool, cool. And Tarwin's like, oh yeah, Mia, it's okay to use my question to mention my comment. Like, yeah, just don't buy things until you know the tool. Exactly. Oh yeah, I know you can take it. And again, because it really wasn't about you, especially because you were even asking. You weren't like, I'm going to buy this brush pack and be a master by next week. That's what I'm making fun of, which you weren't doing at all. And yeah, that one pretty artist says, yeah, I've moved every 2 years or so. I was never really in the same place consistently. I get you. So I moved out when I was 18, and I have never since lived in the same place for more than 2 years. My record is almost 2 years. It's like a year and 10 months. Currently, I'm at a year and 2 months here at the specific location in Tennessee, but I want to buy a house, and then I will not be here. And Empress mentioned, oh yeah, just barely. Empress moved to the States when they're about 4 months after they were born. Yeah, fun fact, I was born in South Dakota. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. Again, I was like a year when we moved, if even that, so I don't remember it at all. Okay. Super fun chatting with y'all. Going to continue chatting with y'all. Also, that one 3D artist, are you in our Discord? I feel like I haven't seen you or your. I want to see your art. I want to see stuff that you've made. I can't remember if you've shared your stuff already or not. And if you have, I am so sorry. I forgot. I'm just completely blanking. But I want to see this stuff. I am intrigued. All right, so kind of moving the sleeve. So when you're working in Character Creator, it's really worth shortening up the sleeves. I know it looks a little ridiculous, but I really encourage you to do so, because if you get it anywhere close to the wrist, it starts to like deform and grab onto the wrist. Don't ask me how I know, because I keep doing it and destroying my sleeves. Yes, Maverick. Oh, duh, that one 3D artist says, yes, I am TO3DA, Toda. Duh, that one 3D artist. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. I was not connecting that. I'm gonna call you Toda from now on. That makes my life way easier. Hey, Matt's here. Hello. I lived in Rapid City for a year. That's where I was born. Yeah, that's where I was born, Rapid City. Lived in Rapid City for a year, which is like 5 years in South Dakota time. Yeah. How funny. Yeah, that's specifically where I was born. Empress says, Mia raises hand. How do you stamp the mesh in the corner like that? Get it all positioned where you want, and then on your keyboard, Shift S. So Shift S, S for stamp. Toda says, girl, I'm making our best friend bracelet now. Please do. I would love that. I don't know why I'm biased, but I just think it's the coolest thing. That one 3D artist, I don't know, I just assumed you were a dude for some reason. I say they no matter what, but I don't know. Not a ton of girlies in 3D, but there are. Girly 3Ds unite. And then, yeah, Sater says, Foxy, that's fantastic. This is another reason Americans are crazy. We have no roots. It's true. It's true. That is incredible, though. Fox, again, it's like Foxy lore time. Foxy says, although that 7 generations thing is just one branch of the family, another branch of the family used to own a pub outside of Birmingham 100 years ago. Damn, that's incredible. Aloha says, I say they no matter what. Me being called a woman for 2 months. Aloha, you know, that is so funny because, again, I went back and checked the chat and stuff. I started saying that because of Mini Blaze. Deadass. All right. Doing the thing before I forget. Cool. I'm going to get this ready for Character Creator. Ooh, what about no sleeves? Wait, what? Kind of loving the no sleeves. Wait a minute. What do we think about no sleeves? if I made her a little more buff. Okay, we're gonna do sleeves for now, but I might hide those after I pose. Yeah, no sleeves. I agree. Huge change. I agree. I'm probably not going to keep him, but I might as well have it pose with it, you know what I mean? And then I can decide later. Or maybe if I just like short sleeves, like tattered. Nah, I really like the no sleeves. Slater said, did you just drop a dead ass? Yeah, I know. I just see someone else from California and it just comes out. That's my accent. Toto says, I know, it's very common for people to think I'm a guy. I don't really talk about my history or where I come from. It's very rare to meet someone who's gone through anything similar. Yeah. You are unique. So this is a very positive experience, for lack of a better word. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, that reminds me, like, same. In most spaces, like, I just don't talk at all. And then if I do, I also usually assume to be a dude. And Torben asked, do I show Character Creator 4 in stream? No, I don't, because it does not run on Mac. So I can't, because this is a MacBook. All right, we're going to give her really goofy, short little sleeves. Or you know, that's probably fine, just as is. We're good. Just kidding. But no, Toda, I'm glad this has been a positive experience for you. A lot of people here have a similar story in that case. I love how well you guys all get along. Again, it's not by accident. If no one fits the vibes, they get yeeted. But still, it is nice. Toto says, I love using that though. Yes, let them assume. I agree. Foxy says to me, I've surprised people before with my gender. I'm typically on voice a lot, but not everybody expects Foxy to be male. You know, I don't know why I assumed correctly on that one. And then Loa talking to Toda, you joined the stream the same time, got a nice boost in viewers, so we didn't notice that you was one of us. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but cool. One of us. Ray says, I don't know, Foxy can be pretty foxy. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to have my meeting with Matt in 5 minutes. This is why I have alarms. I'm sure Matt's watching and he just like, freaking Mia, forgetting that she's streaming, is supposed to like have a meeting with me. Yeah, I have a meeting with a student in 5 minutes. And I'm really not doing anything quickly right now. So I'm going to end the stream really chaotically right now. Sorry, guys. This is like cold water. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. And I know I can reschedule the stream or my meeting, but I do that to him every week and I'm tired of it. So, okay. You guys are great. I'll be back tomorrow. See you around noon Eastern time. If not, if you feel lonely, if you feel sad, jump into the Peasant Social Pub. Foxy and Monkey are already there. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.